Hello. Hope we're all doing well. It's going to be a reaction stream today. We're reacting to all the new stuff that has been announced or, like, you know, leaked, whatever the hell it is, about Nightreign. There's a bunch of, like, videos that I got to catch up on. So we're going to do it all in one stream. So I might end up making, like, a thoughts or, like, a... I don't know, maybe a thoughts video. That's beautiful art. Yes, I got it commissioned. It was made by Temujin, and Kara got it commissioned for me. So yeah, shout out to Kara. Let's go first react to this Guardian trailer. And I actually made a second Guardian trailer today. Let me know if it's too loud. Why the hell is that 720p? See, when I play the network test, the Guardian seemed like you can read. This is the characters that are just reading it. This. Doing everything by dropping the executor trailer. Yeah, I mean they'll probably end up not dropping it or dropping it like way later, like right before the release. I don't think they're actually going to do a Revenant one either. They're probably not going to do a Revenant trailer at all. There's probably just going to be an Executor one. I think they're going to save the Revenant just for the for release. They're not going to talk about it beforehand. Leave something there, you know? Something for the people to discover by themselves. He's reading. I can't relate to him anymore. Every single day I just read chat. I can't relate. Apparently the Guardian is from a race called Pinion Folk. Pinion Folk. Interesting. But you want to play in the network test, the Guardian was definitely like the weakest character. But like it can be better once you end up incorporating some cooler relics. Like some of the relics that we saw that boosted the Guardian's abilities seems pretty nice. So that wind attack that he gets, it was pretty basic. But like there was a wind attack. There's a relic that makes it like last like a while, which is pretty cool. So it's good at stun locking and maybe decent for damage too. It's like a must-have relic, it seems like. But yeah, the ultimate ability is actually really good. The passive is... no. I got this. I pre-ordered that. Do you see anything new or interesting? I think it's the same thing. It is a nice looking shield though, I'm not gonna lie. Too bad he just replaced it anyway. To find like a better shield, I guess. I mean, the chance of actually finding a better shield is pretty slim, but... we should actually go like a... I don't know. Pretty like unique blocking with the weapon too. I feel like the passive ability should just be like, when you're just blocking, you just take like no damage. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, at least it's like, yeah, there's no damage at all, anything. That should just be the passive ability. You just get like, just a lot of stability and you just take no damage. Because like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like that useful to be able to just sit there and just block the entire time. Especially because like, the enemies are not guaranteed to come towards you, right? Because the enemies are always guaranteed to go towards whatever enemy's been hitting them last. And if you're not hitting the boss and you're just sitting there just blocking, the enemy's not going to get aggroed towards you. Because it's not going to aggro towards whoever's closer. It's like whoever just hits you last. That's how like the enemy AI tends to work. So like if there's like a relic ability for the Guardian that has it to where like enemies like aggro towards them. What's that talisman called? There's like in every Souls game. The Shibriri's Woe. If there's like that, like innate, that would make more sense. Like when you're just blocking maybe. Like the enemies tend to gravitate towards you. And that way you probably don't have to have it. And maybe you can actually leave it the way it is. But if there's like a relic that can do that, that'd be really good. Because otherwise you're just sitting there blocking enemies that are going back and forth and hitting all your other allies. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And then just drop another gameplay reveal trailer.
Stand your ground and raise your shield.
Oh, there it is, yeah. Pinion Folk.
Stand
A
your
Pinion
ground.
Folk captain skilled in offense and defense who prefers halberds. I wish it was all polearms, you know? Prefers polearms. So, like, all your polearm movesets got, like, a unique moveset or got, like, faster movesets or something. And not just the one weapon type. Because, like, there's, like, 40 weapon types in the game.
And raise your shield.
Oh. Did we actually know that the Ancestor Spirit was going to be there?
Will this be worth playing solo?
Ross with the $20. Can we get W's for Demo Mage Ross with a $20 donation? Damn. Will it be worth playing solo? I'm not too sure. I'm hoping that it is because a lot of the I don't really care much to have co-op in Elden Ring because for the reasons that I mentioned, that the bosses tend to go back and forth between all your allies, and I'd rather just have the boss just focus on me so I can like dodge it accordingly. Sometimes it can be fun if you're playing with friends, but hopefully it is like really good for solo play. Gabriel with the 10 as well. Thank you, man. Can we get W's for Gabriel with another donation? Appreciate it, my guy. I'm hoping. I mean, I feel like the game is definitely going to be based around multiplayer use. So I feel like if you want to buy the game just for single player, I'll wait. I'll just wait. Until we just see more. Yes. Not of journalists though. Of like content creators like myself or other Elden Ring people. But then again, journalists might be a good and they might have some good opinions out there because there's probably going to be more in line with like the casual audience. So anyway, but yeah, I feel like if you have like good amount of relics and stuff and you actually get some good build creation, I feel like the solo would be pretty easy. But one thing I'm worried about is that the bosses are going to be balanced around about like the bosses and enemy density is going to be balanced around multiplayer, and I don't think that's going to change even for single player mode. So I think like at best for single player mode, they're going to have like enemies like less health, less poise, and that's about it. But I feel like the bosses are still going to be designed, like their movesets are still going to be designed for multiplayer. And I think the enemy density is going to be designed for multiplayer too. And also like the whole like respawning thing, because you only get like, if all the teammates die in a boss fight, that's it, you wipe and you go back to the menu. So if you die in a boss fight in solo mode, what's going to happen? So maybe they actually end up giving you like a couple of extra lives in solo mode to compensate. But yeah, so some things that I'm worried about. So, but I feel like that's, if they're going to have anything for solo mode to be specific for solo mode, it'll be those things. So it'll be like letting you revive a couple times at least. I know there is going to be some relic abilities to where you can revive it yourself. But hopefully there's something specific for solo mode too. So I don't know. So we'll see.
We must charge ahead before the
It was a consumable? Yeah. I thought it was a relic ability. But yeah, consumable makes more sense, I guess.
winds change.
Summon a cyclone that knocks small enemies off their feet and can repel light projectiles. So this attack is when you're fighting, like, because most of the bosses in Nightreign are going to be larger, right? Because you want to be able to have the compensate for like the multiplayer experience. So you have like 3 people fighting a big large boss because it makes more sense than fighting small bosses. And if you're fighting larger bosses, this skill is practically useless. Because it doesn't like, I don't know, it doesn't do much stance damage, and like it protects light projectiles or repels light projectiles.
Now we strike at the head of the serpent.
Yeah. That's a really good, the ultimate ability is like, what makes the character. It's actually really good. Because obviously it's really good for crowd control, and it can revive your allies if you're like, you know, they all died next to each other. And it's going to buff them too, because if you hold them to the ground for a little bit, it gives them like a damage negation buff. It's probably just like a boiled crab equivalent type thing. See when you hold on to it, and does that little AoE buff. So, the ult didn't make the boss flinch. I mean, yeah, in this game, you don't really like flinch or stagger bosses. You just stance break them, so it didn't do as much stance damage. But thankfully, actually, you get infinite iframes. Not when you land on the ground though, but all ultimate attacks get iframes, which is cool. But there's one thing that I'm worried about, because like enemies have lots and lots of poise, when they're in the multiplayer at least. So hopefully in single mode, the poise is like in line what it is in Elden Ring, because like it's so much higher. It takes forever to stance break something in the multiplayer. Which obviously makes sense, but I know IGN had a video. They talked about Nightreign and Doom. Obviously, I'm not gonna care about Doom, so skip to the Nightreign part.
Another game that's
But yeah, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch there's like the PAX event, which is gonna be kind of scuffed gameplay, but we're gonna watch that. And Ouroboros dropped a video as well earlier today talking about his experience when he went to PAX to play it. So, we'll go watch those.
not ready to be reviewed quite yet. We've got our last push of preview in the form of our...
A company every time they tried something new, they made Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. People are too doubtful about Nightreign. I mean, yeah. I mean, people just think... I mean, a lot of people that just play solo games and just look at multiplayers and like they've been convinced their entire lives that it's a slop. This guy looks like a Mr. Least. So yeah. People just don't like playing multiplayer games because, you know, the FromSoft games are peak gaming in this good single player solo experience, and then multiplayer sucks, and yeah. There's those camp people, which is like fine, I guess. You don't have to like multiplayer games. And also the whole thing that it's pretty much just like, you know, reusing assets and making a whole dedicated game that's just around one particular game mode. But thankfully it's not going to be full price.
exclusive month that we do. Most months we do them as much as we can.
What would your reaction be if Sekiro didn't have a parry-like system? I mean, like, I think the parry is only going to be for the ultimate, is what I'm seeing. And what I heard, I will go look at some stuff and like, because I was looking at the Reddit, and I think that's what I heard, that the parry is just going to be for the ultimate ability, which is going to be like a limited time thing for the last like 30 seconds or whatever. And I'm fine with that, because like what are you going to do with the parry system? Like, I don't know. I feel like the parry system is only going to be good if you get in like a one-on-one fight, because I've always had like assumption that if you're using deflecting and stuff, you want to have the boss be aggro towards you, and you want them to have to be smaller bosses as well, so they constantly keep attacking, so you can constantly keep deflecting, because like the larger bosses typically swing pretty slowly, a lot more slower than the smaller bosses do. So you're not going to really benefit as much. And it seems like, from what you've seen like in the trailers, that the deflect actually does do some stance damage, like what it does in Sekiro with the posture damage. So, but like, yeah, with bosses and stuff, they're just going to keep going back and forth between you and your allies. You're not going to have many opportunities. It's like what I talk about with the Guardian. Like the Guardian, you're just going to have to wait for him to try and hit you to benefit off the actual blocking ability. And same thing with the Executor.
So our game for May, our IGN first game for May, is Elden Ring Nightreign. You took a trip over to Japan, got to what I hope is maybe check off a bucket list, career bucket
Why didn't I get flown over to Japan? They didn't fly me out.
list of getting to visit From Software as big a Souls-like fan as I know you are. But
definitely a bucket list item.
I've got some of those too. Like the first time I got to go to id Software, that was a huge like check that one off. Like I'd always wanted to. I'll tell you the quick mini story. The first time I was at id Software was for.
I don't care about your stories.
Anyway,
Tell me about what you thought about the game and what you learned was near.
Seeing all the cool, like they've got a bunch of the original.
When it releases, I'll grab the nerd character and roll. Have a good stream. All good's Emin. I parry everything for 30 seconds or just one attack. I don't know. I'm just like speculating. They're not going to show the Sekiro character, no. We don't know yet.
Like the original models from the original Doom that they like digitized into the game. So like stuff like that's super cool. But then when on the tour, the game that pretty much swept all the Game of the Year awards 3 years ago.
Earth is shifting the crater?
So what, I guess I'll ask you.
Oh, okay. So before you actually even go in there, so before you even go into a game,
it's a very different,
you?
pretty much swept all the Game of the Year award.
Wait. Goat-headed being who pretends to be a man, said to be able to use a dubious form of alchemy, counterfeit to gold, causes Loss of sanity, beckoning madness. However, those who... Okay, it's cool. Tricephalos, gaping jaw, sentient pest, augur, equilibrious beast. They have like code names before you actually go fight the boss and actually reveal their real name. Shifting earth underway. So I thought there was going to be randomized events, like the volcano things. I thought they were going to be randomized, but maybe every single like major boss that you fight will have like its own separate randomized event. Well, not really randomized, and have its own separate event. I was kind of like expecting like every single one to be, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole thing. To where you have to go queue up an individual one to find an individual final boss. Like, unless like, I mean, it can be pretty cool if like these individual bosses like drop certain rewards. And it seems like that we have to fight all 7 to be able to fight the final one. Because obviously there's going to be 8 and there's only 7 listed here. So to fight all 7 of them to be able to fight the final one. So, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it.
3 years ago. So what about... You'd already played in like the network test. You'd already checked out the game, but what did going to the studio kind of do for you with regard to Nightreign?
Let's see. I would say that what kind of surprised me was how difficult, and you know, you shouldn't be surprised. Like the idea that I'm surprised by the difficulty of a FromSoft game is like.
See, why did they have percentages in like all the other games? Like, you know, improved attack power at low HP plus 10%. That would be nice if they just did it for other games as well, you know. Small little thing, but yeah. At least they did it for this one.
Kind of surprising itself because I've played so many of them. I know going in that it's going to be difficult. But like when I tell you that our entire first day was spent just trying to beat that Libra boss, believe me. And it wasn't from like a lack of skill or a lack of experience.
It was a skill issue. These guys suck. I'm kidding.
From of our squad. Like we were playing with someone from IGN Japan who was very good. Like I watched his footage. He wasn't a weak link. Someone who worked at Bandai Namco who, you know, played through all the bosses prior to us getting there. So he was supposed to be like our kind of Sherpa. And then there's me who, you know, like Ryan gave me such a generous introduction before. Like I'm pretty decent at these games, I will say. And
he's pretty good, chat.
Still took us the whole day. Like we didn't even beat it after the first day. We had to come back.
Well, like the thing is, they fought the Libra boss, and it was like listed like 5th down on the list. So I'm guessing it's gonna be based on like difficulty. And I feel like by the time that you want to be able to fight the 5th boss, you want to have like a bunch of relics that you've already accumulated from your previous runs to go into it. So like it might seem pretty challenging if you just go in with like no relics. To like the later Nightlord bosses. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Gotta be sad if the Pursuer doesn't join Margit as an invading boss. Yeah. But from what you're seeing, I don't think they... And hopefully, it'll be pretty cool. Hopefully I have more. Because that's like the best part about the game. Well, when he's playing the network test, the Morgoth invasion was like the coolest part.
The second day, come in with like an actual plan. And then we finally beat it.
Nice.
So it like that surprised me.
It took him a whole day to actually think of a plan. Hell yeah. Is there a gambling prediction on the final boss being Radahn? I don't think it's gonna be, although it would be pretty funny. Honestly, that would be hilarious. That would be the funniest outcome.
And it's especially notable for a game like this because if you come across a really tough boss in Elden Ring, like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Usually the checkpoints are just a short run to the the really tough bosses. The easier bosses might have
Longest boss run back. 45-minute boss run back.
Have a longer run, but the really tough bosses generally, like, you just walk a couple steps, you're able to try again. With this game, what I want people to understand is that if you come like when you come across those night 3 bosses, if you lose, you have to do the whole thing over again. That's a whole 30 minutes of a pretty tough.
When I looked at the Libra boss fight
A
beforehand,
whole
the
30
skybox didn't look as cool as that.
minutes of
Look at that skybox. That's cool.
of a pretty tough roguelike just to get another look at the boss's moves.
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty annoying if you're doing solo play as well, which I recommend you just play multiplayer first, so you can actually like know what it's about, get your relics up, so you can take them into the solo mode, and obviously learn more about these bosses' movesets. Because like going in by yourself and then just like dying straight away and be like, all right, 30 minutes to run back to the final boss.
Like that is what I think is going to be like the really
Why is this guy yapping about boss runbacks? Is reviving for a reason? I mean, you can't revive yourself in the boss fight. You can only get, what do you call it? But can you revive? You can't revive yourself in the boss fight. I think you only get revived. Rezzed, right? Can you? I forget now. Maybe you can be revived though. I think only teammates can revive you, right? I forget.
highly talked about discussion point of this game is the fact that, these are really tough bosses, and just to get
Can be revived by your teammates? Yeah, I was saying, but you can only be revived by your teammates in a boss fight. Because if all 3 of you go down, then no one can respawn because you're all dead. But if all 3 of you go down outside of a boss fight, I'm kind of forgetting now. Not resurrection? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you can revive. Okay, cool, yeah. I forget now. But obviously, if all 3 of you go down, get knocked down, that's it. That's the end of the run. But just in a boss fight, though. I think it's just a major boss fight. I think if you fight like a field boss and you all die, then you can all respawn.
get another shot, you have to go through this whole roguelike thing again. And then you get to, maybe try out something new that you didn't try out the first time against that boss. So it's going to be really tough, I think.
So
But
the skybox looks different this time. Maybe because it's on the other side. Maybe he turns around.
But on the flip side of that, the release that we got when we finally
Is there a cost for respawning in the world? I think when you die and you respawn, I think you lose a level, right? That's how it is, right? Well, you lose your souls or your runes, and I think you lose 1 level. But you can go pick up your runes again like you normally can in a regular game, right? So you can pick them up again if you die. But I think dying lets you, if you need to respawn by yourself, it loses a level. And you can only get to, I think max level is like 15. This guy's at level 12 on the final boss, which I think when I first played the game, I was getting to about like level 12. But like once you play the game more and more, you realize like where to go and points of interest and like kill things faster. Then you end up getting around about level 15 either way. There were screenshots of Nightlord bosses appearing before Night 3 in the world, so you might have more of a chances to see the Nightlord's bosses moveset. Yeah, they actually said that there was the whole, what was it called? The pests, the sentient pests, as part of the Nightlord bosses, and then they were actually playing it, and they said they got invaded by the sentient pest as well. So
beat this guy that we had spent 7 hours trying to get through. It was, one of the
it's like an NPC. It's like they're moving.
most elated I've been, especially at like,
It said merchant, but yeah, can't see them though.
a quote unquote press event. And, like everyone in the room was like cheering for us. It felt so good.
So yeah, there was no like, let's let the
Oh, I see. So that merchant turns into the boss.
let the media guy win so that he feels better about the game. Like that's not how From Software rolls.
And no, absolutely not. We had to work for it. And yeah, like it was. I definitely went to.
See, the skybox is different when you first saw him this time. Was it because of the second phase? And this might be because of the buffs, because it gives you the option to either go in with like certain like buffs or not. And maybe the buffs affect the skybox as well. Or am I tripping? Where the hell is the... Yeah, here. I think it's maybe the second phase. Okay, never mind. Disregard.
Up, you just feel like a complete moron. You're like, oh god, oh god, I'm embarrassing myself and I'm embarrassing IGN. Like, because it happens, right? Like, when we get there, usually we haven't played the game before, because that's the point of like we're going to do this big exclusive studio visit and get this exclusive content. You know, you'd at least gotten warmed up a little bit on that network test. But yeah, it's that can be a little bit of a, and maybe that, I don't know, maybe that's just in my own head, and that other people that...
It's just always hard to like just dodge bosses when you're playing multiplayer. Like I swear, like now when I'm playing the game nowadays, if I'm doing multiplayer, it's literally harder than just playing by myself, because I'm not sure how the boss AI is gonna work. It always works so much different when you're playing multiplayer, and they go back and forth, and they're focusing on one enemy, then like mid combo they turn around and hit you. So it's like, it just makes the game harder, honestly. And then they have like boosted health and boosted poise. So it's like, you have to do this fine lines. Like, do I spam my attacks here because he's not looking at me? But he could just randomly, all of a sudden, just turn 180 and hit me. Then do like 75% of my health. So it's like, I have to kind of pacingly do it and not spam it all the time and be wary of it. So it's like, it's just weird. That's why I just don't like the co-op combat in this game. That's why I'm kind of banking on the solo play being viable and fun. Liver's a fifth boss, so it makes sense they struggled. Should a bunch... Yeah, I just said that earlier, yeah. Let's talk about how like he's about 5 or 6 bosses through, so you need to have a bunch of relics at this point.
At work at IGN or in games media don't feel that, but I sure do. I'm like, I always just feel them watching and judging me, and even though they're
But they did say that there actually was an interview, and they said they actually did what do you call it? They buffed the Tricephalus. I forgot the name of the boss, the 3-headed dog boss. They said they buffed the boss from the network test. So I think they're trying to make these Nightlord bosses harder. Which I'm not sure if that was like a criticism or not, but yeah.
Probably not judging me, but I just like, I feel it. I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and then that boss as well, like, kind of leads you to believe that like it's not gonna be as viable for solo play. Because like that's a boss where it's like there's literally 3 fucking dogs coming at you at once, and it's like very much designed around the multiplayer experience. You can just like wait around until they go back into the single form again, but
same thing as streaming, right? It's just you're streaming for an audience of the people who made the game.
Yeah, good point. So you've got, as of this recording, you've already got a bunch of stuff up.
you use the ult.
On IGN, a bunch of IGN first exclusive content for Nightreign.
See, that has the separate skybox now. I think it's the second phase. It changes the skybox.
You've got a boss reveal gameplay video that doesn't show too much. Like, it's not full like spoiler, but it's, you know, gives you a good idea.
We definitely cut around some elements of that boss fight that we didn't want.
So a lot of people saying the dogs were easy. Were they? I mean, the first day they were kind of annoying and challenging, but once they ended up getting more relics and stuff, and once you started to figure out like the strats and shit like that, I basically like never lost. So I think like my entire like second to last day and last day, I didn't think I ended up dying at all. I was playing with like all the characters, and you ended up just doing it all the time, especially when you had like duchesses on your team just spamming the that time ability.
Want to spoil those, or I would say FromSoft specifically didn't want us to spoil them.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't need like
Oh my god, not again! How does this happen every stream now? Why are these bots doing to me? Leave me alone, mods.
Yeah, like we know a lot of people don't like spoiler stuff, so we always do our best to avoid it. But so you got the boss battle gameplay. You got to play the Iron Eye and Raider classes, so you've got videos and articles like hands-on reports with those, and then today as we record this, you posted the how Limveld changes from run to run, which is a really interesting piece.
Yeah, we're gonna go
too.
see that one too.
What else have you kind of got coming up between now and because we're only going like another week?
It's got on auto. Check the mod thread later. Says something to deal with this. Okay, thank you. It's gonna riot.
And a half because
bots here on my Twitch every single day. There's like a bunch of like bots just coming in. It's like either just following. I've like get 100 followers a day from just like random bots, or just like people just spamming in the chat. Thankfully, it's nothing bad, but yeah.
Then the game's actually out at the very end of the month, so we've got to get all of our IGN first stuff out of the way. What have you got coming up?
So we got a bonus actually. We got a boss that we encountered in the lead up to the Night 3 boss. Basically the way it works is that on day 1
the churches are actually towards the middle of the map. I remember I sent in this massive, like, giant list to one of the Bandai employees. It's like, send me like a list of all the things that you like, your feedback from the network test, and we'll send it through. I'll send it through directly to the devs to make sure they get it. I was like, cool, thanks. So I sent this whole massive list of feedback that I had from the network test. And one of them was actually having the churches not just be on the outside of the map, because the churches are like the most important points of interest. Because you basically see it, because these are your healing flasks. You have to go to these churches to get healing flasks, and it's like arguably like the most important item, because you only start off with like what, 2 or something like that. Or is it just 1? I don't know how many you start off with. But I said like probably get rid of this concept, because I feel like having it tied behind killing bosses would be more rewarding than just like running from the edge to the map to the edge of the map just to get healing flasks. But they actually made it more centralized and not just like at the fucking corners of the map, which at least that's better than what it was. So that's cool, I guess. I mean, it's still kind of towards the edge, but that's fine.
1, you fight a randomized boss. On day 2, you fight a randomized boss, and then on day 3, you fight the boss that you chose when you started the run. And we happened to
the white lines past the spirit. So yeah, there's the if you want to go use the hawks to teleport you, that's those. Yeah. Then obviously like the Everjails and like random like ruins and shit. Yeah.
on
Well, they only go in like one direction, so you have to go to like the tree, and from the tree you can go into that area. But you can actually jump off like halfway and stuff. So the hawk tour, yeah.
classic Dark Souls, a boss from one of the previous Dark Souls games. So we're gonna have that boss in its full entirety coming. I think later in the week.
Sweet.
We have some interviews coming. One with the director Ishizaki-san, one with a combat designer, another with a kind of art designer. And
So I'm gonna have one gameplay. I'm wondering if it's gonna be Nameless King or like the Dancer. I have a feeling like that Nameless King fight's not gonna incorporate this. I mean, hopefully it does incorporate the actual Nameless King fight and not just the first phase. But I have a feeling that the Nameless King fight is just gonna be the first phase. Just gonna be like the King of the Storms.
and another with
Which incant does more total damage fully charged? Mesmer's Orb or Scarlet Aeonia? I'm pretty sure when you can't fully charge Scarlet Aeonia. So yeah, Mesmer's Orb's gonna do more damage.
the composer who also worked on Sekiro, worked on base Elden Ring. He was the composer of the Promised Consort. I think it's Radahn's main theme.
That's a good theme.
And then what else? Am I missing anything, Ryan?
That's a pretty good amount of stuff that you.
Yeah, we still got a good amount of stuff coming.
Yeah, so keep your eyes on
So
IGN.com.
interviews, it's purchased a bunch of interviews and one Dark Souls boss review. I said later in the week, and I said this yesterday. What's today? It's like Tuesday or some shit for me, right? Saturday, never mind. Disregard. Maybe you actually say something tomorrow. We'll see.
As well as our YouTube channel because I think most, if not all, of these things that Mitchell's doing have video pieces with them. So yeah, thank you, Mitchell, for taking like a week out of your life to fly all the way out to Japan and bring.
Oh, how terrible. Taking a week out of your life to go fly to Japan for probably free and go play the new FromSoft game. I take pity on this guy.
Back a bunch of cool Elden Ring content for us.
Thank you for like being the person that sends me to these things. Like you are a dream maker, Ryan. So I very much appreciate
I'm
you.
doing my best. Yeah, no, it's I'll just say like this is maybe a little too inside baseball for most of our audience, but like one of the reasons that I started the whole IGN first thing, like actually, wow, it is 11 years ago this month. Wow. That was because our first one was, we revealed Forza Horizon 2 in May of 2014. Anyway, one of the reasons I started it, there were a lot of reasons, but one of them was that in my official Xbox magazine days, there was a game on the cover of there had to be a game on the cover of the magazine every month. So most months, somebody on our team was getting to go to a development studio and just basically be the only one there. It wasn't some big media event, and get to like see a new game and report on it for the magazine and talk.
Sounds cool. How much total damage do you get from a Unio rot build-up? It's 30% damage, roughly. Should have flown the UE out? True. But I don't work for IGN, and I'm not trying to work for IGN, so I'm okay. 90% of the co-op I've done in Elden Ring was the guy uses a bunch of buffs and Hellish Berry or whatever, then goes into the boss room and gets blown up by 2 seconds. Yeah. Well, like, obviously we've got to deal with, like, shit players and stuff, but, at least no one can really have, like, that bad of a build, right? It's like, because, like, you level up normally, and it's like every character's gonna have some amount of balance either way. It doesn't matter if I'm actually, you know, not being stupid, which I guess is pretty challenging for most.
Talk to the developers, and I always got such a kick out of doing those for official Xbox magazine that I wanted to bring that to IGN, because like who didn't ever get to work on a magazine are
okay. They don't talk about Elden Ring anymore. Okay, let's go watch this again. I think I watched this once, but like just skim through it. But I'll go try and break it down more.
One of the biggest questions left over after Elden Ring Nightreign's network test back in February was, how will the world of Limveld change in the real game? After all, Nightreign is, for all intents and purposes, a roguelite, and one of the core elements of any roguelite is a degree of randomness or procedural generation that ensures that every run feels just a little bit different. Nightreign has that in the loot department, with every run giving you different rewards and forcing you to cobble together a build based on what you're able to find within that run, and also in the enemy and boss department, since none of the boss encounters are static, with the sole exception of the Nightlord battle on day 3. But as far as the world of Limveld, we never really got a chance to see how it changes from run to run during the network test. During my 2 days of playtime at FromSoft's office and over the course of about 10 full runs, I got my answer to that earlier question. Here's how Limveld will change from run to run in Elden Ring Nightreign. Actually, we jumped the gun. Before we go into the ways that Limveld will change, let's quickly establish what doesn't change. The overall structure of Limveld will not change. The shape of the island, the major geographic...
I still don't know how I feel about having like every single map be dedicated for one boss. Not map, but like... I don't know. Maybe after you kill all the Nightreign bosses or Nightlord bosses, they're going to give you an option to just like randomize or pick like any random one. Hopefully, maybe? I don't know. I don't know, but I guess like planning out your run, knowing like what the final Nightlord is going to be, I guess is interesting, but because maybe some types of classes are going to be better. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play the game, see what it feels like. They could always change things afterwards based on player feedback. Is light greats or power stance moveset good? It's fine. I'd rather have it two-handed, honestly, but like it's still good. If you think it looks cool and you like using it, then you'll find success. It's kind of cool to see how things. At least I won't immediately see the host get one shot because they have half my vigor. Yeah, pretty much.
Features, the positioning of cliffs, rivers, and lakes, all of these will be the same, barring a few major exceptions that we'll cover in just a bit. The locations of Sites of Grace, Everjails, the launching Spirit Springs, cave entrances and exits, the spectral trees and the wind currents, all of these are static and do not change location from run to run. There's also a giant castle that features exceptionally tough battles and big rewards right smack in the middle of the map that will never change. Everything else, from the locations of all the rest of the points of interest,
it's like the Tilted Towers equivalent.
Types of rewards offered at those points of interest, to the wandering mini-bosses and the bosses that you fight at the end of day 1 and day 2 are left completely up to chance.
But they're both really good.
That said, there are two other huge factors that can completely alter a run. The first are world events known as Shifting Earth.
Shifting Earth.
Occasionally, before you even launch into a level, you'll be made aware that there is a shifting earth modifier in effect. In our playtime,
I wonder if it's like just specifically for that one Nightlord boss, or just like it's just random parts of the day. Like you might play it on a Tuesday, then it'll be like a one randomized event. Then you play it the next day, and it'll be another randomized event. Or I don't know, maybe.
the one we encountered was Crater, which transformed the northern section
Because there's gonna be like rotations and stuff for that merchant that sells different relics, right? Or let you trade in different relics. So if there's gonna be some type of like, you know, reset, like weekly reset or a daily reset, then that might be a thing.
of the map, placing a giant crater in the middle and rivers of lava all around it. The enemies around and
Nobody wants to fight a gargoyle though.
inside the crater are no joke, and wiped the floor with us when we first attempted to even get close enough to investigate the crater on the first day. But
Yeah, the crater stuff, that seems like day 2 types of stuff, because I feel like this is going to be very challenging, because it said that it takes a while to go in and out, right?
investigate it you should, and you should do so as soon as the second day begins, if you're
There
up
you
to
go.
the
There you go.
challenge. Exploring the crater took us pretty much the entirety of the second day, but when
But like the second day is typically like a lot easier than the first day, because like it doesn't seem like it's that big of a difference in terms of balancing, and just you just like melt bosses a lot faster on the second day. So yeah. Can you loop the run though? What do you mean?
we did eventually make it all the way to the bottom, we beat a boss that granted us an epic rarity level reward by itself, but then also the unique reward of being able to take any weapon in our arsenal and upgrade it to the maximum level for free. It's a risky endeavor though, because in order to escape the crater, you need to use a bunch of spectral trees.
There's no looping like in Risk of Rain as far as we know. Okay. Let's go on Gremlin. How things, man? Hope it's got balance because it was nudged during the tests. Yeah. At least have 2 homies with us against the gargoyle. Yeah, it's true.
Trees and ride the hawks from platform to platform as you try to escape, which will certainly lead to nail-biting escape sequences when you take too long in the crater and now must race against the clock to get out while the circle closes in around you. The other big way that runs can change are through the appearances of certain events that seem to occur completely randomly and can throw a huge wrench into an otherwise routine run. I've seen only a couple of these, and some might be familiar with the Margit invasion from the network test, in which Margit the Fell will just all of a sudden jump into your game and just mercilessly hunt your squad down wherever they are.
That's Morgoth. You can tell because of the sword.
But a new one that I encountered involved the appearance of a swirling tornado-like phenomenon in the sky. When our squad approached it, we were suddenly attacked by a very tough group of AI-controlled Nightfarers who seemingly invaded us from another world. Like typical NPC invasions in Elden Ring, these enemies were smarter and hit a lot harder than typical enemies, making it another big risk-reward
Not NPCs. But hopefully these NPCs are stupid and don't dodge. And typically when you're ganking, it's a lot easier. Where did that big castle from the original trailer go? Oh, like the Nox area? That's probably gonna be like a randomized thingy. I think that it's gonna be the equivalent of the volcano crater thing. It might be the equivalent of that. So like maybe instead of like the volcano that spawns in, it might spawn in that big giant castle instead. So it might be dependent on like, you know, random which Nightlord boss you fight, or it might just be dependent on whenever you load it up.
consideration to explore the area.
They have the Albinaurics from the Consecrated Snowfield. Ones that use the Discus of Light.
Near one of these ominous swirling tornadoes in the sky. The most impactful of all these random
They call him Maga because they're an IGN reporter. Never made it past the introduction.
events, though, was the appearance of a mysterious boss that would attack
A plague of locusts befall the land.
from miles away with mortar shots of level-sapping bugs. That's right, get hit even just once by these telegraph mortar strikes, and you lose a level. It's not even limited to just losing one. Get hit again, he'll take another level from you. The only way to get those levels back is to find and kill the boss by following the bugs to his hiding spot. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of this, nor do I know what the reward is for killing him, because by the time we found the boss by following the bugs, the circle had started encroaching, and we just wouldn't have been able to kill him before the circle
They should have found out. That's only the first day. Just go in there. Try and see what the boss looks like.
killed us.
But I think you can see the boss, right?
I'm not gonna lie, it was
Yeah, you can see it there. It has like the legs and or like tail maybe. It's like the nine-tailed fox.
we just wouldn't have been able to kill him before the circle killed us. I'm not gonna lie,
Morgoth's full theme plane in the network test. Yeah. Do you think the map is too small? No, map was decently sized. You could kind of see it, right? Like the outline. Is that the boss?
it was pretty soul crushing to have to just give up on those levels that he stole from us.
They're shooting at it. Sentient Pest. And like Sentient Pest was like the name of like the Nightlord, right? But then again, the names of the bosses, maybe when the bosses, the Nightlord bosses are outside of the actual main boss room, then it's going to be called something different. Because when you look at the list of the drop-down menu to pick which Nightlord boss you want to kill, they have a different name to their actual in-game boss name. So, and one of the drop-down list had the name Sentient Pest, but like assuming going a different, I don't know, we'll see.
And it really kind of doomed our run from day one. There are certainly
If your run was doomed anyway, you should have just ran in there and just
more
got
of
it.
these that I still haven't encountered, like the Forest of Corruption, the Madness Towers, and more that we see in the overview trailer released by From Software. It's worth mentioning as well that
They're playing as Wilder, the Artoria skin. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, Wilder was definitely the most fun character that I played in the network test, at least.
if you don't like the shifting Earth modifier
Yes, power stand straight swords are very good. Yeah.
that will affect the world, you can use the bed in the round table hold to sleep to either remove the modifier
Wait, what are you saying here?
by From Software. It's worth mentioning as well that if you don't like the shifting Earth modifier that will affect the world, you can use the bed in the round table hold to sleep to either remove the modifier or have it replaced by something else. As devastating
Huh. So maybe it is based on like in-game time, so you can actually change up the modifier yourself. So if you don't want to have this modifier and you want to have another one, you can go change it. But the thing is, wouldn't that affect the matchmaking? Wouldn't that just make matchmaking even longer? Because you're going to have to match up with other people that have the exact same modifiers and want to choose to fight that exact same Nightlord boss. It feels like it's going to take a long time. Like, if this is a solo game, then it's fine, but you're having a multiplayer game, so it's going to be reliant on the thing. So I understand why they just don't, like, merge them all together. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a L. It's like, if you don't like this modifier, then but that's part of a roguelike, right? Like, sometimes you're gonna get shit RNG and probably get the stuff that you don't want to get. Just gotta hope for the best. But I guess like they might be thinking that like maybe the crater or having the crater is gonna be like worse than having the castle, I guess, or for some people, and they're not gonna want to go down this big giant crater because they might think it's annoying. And maybe it might result in people just like leaving the game early, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is to have it be different. Because if it's going to like just, especially, look, I'm not worried about like the first week, right? Because there's going to be lots of players. But what about this like months from now? And you waiting forever to go match up with one particular Nightlord boss with particular modifiers.
of Corruption, the Madness Towers, and more that we see in the overview trailer released by From Software. It's worth mentioning as well that if you don't like the shifting Earth modifier that will affect the world, you can use the bed in the round table hold to sleep to either remove the modifier or have it replaced by something else.
So you can like remove it completely and not have any modifiers. I don't know.
As devastating
There's a bed though that you can sleep on. Be random, may remove or change something else. Too many moving parts. The world will reflect the host's modifier. But like it's matchmaking though. You just matchmake with somebody else, right? And even if there's a particular host, it's gonna be like, because what if you have particular set of modifiers? You're not gonna go match up with someone that has different modifiers. I mean, you might just not care. Maybe you just don't like have modifiers at all. You can just be like, okay, I just want to play with anything, and then just go in there. Then it just picks anybody's random. I don't know. Sleep to replace modifier with Animal Crossing map. What does RNG mean? Random number generator. Basically, this means randomized.
Stating as some of these modifiers can be, I'm nonetheless eagerly anticipate seeing more of them. They inject a healthy level of chaos into what otherwise might start to feel very routine, and led to some great emergent moments with high emotion between me and my squad mates as we raced to
I could see being tied behind a leader. Maybe they don't have a matchmaking system, but they actually have like people creating their own games. So like you have like a session that you create. It's like, I want to play this Nightlord boss and I want to play with these modifiers, and you just join them, right? And it's not just matchmaking. It might work like that instead. Like in the network test, there was matchmaking. And it seems like from there is matchmaking too. But it could be that way there is like a host. And that way you can actually control who's going to be the host or not, if you want to be the host. And I feel like that's another thing that kind of goes back to the whole like deflecting thing. Because if you're going to have the time deflects, one thing I was noticing is that when I wasn't the host and I was playing the game, the lag was like insufferable. Like there was always that little bit of lag. It may happen at the beginning of the run, but like I would hit something and it'd register like half a second later. So like I feel like if that's gonna be taken into account and I'm deflecting something in co-op, I'm gonna miss every single deflect. Does having a higher poise help you not get knocked out of the animation like Mesmer's orb? Well, yeah, it does, but obviously it depends on... The same thing applies like getting staggered in general and having it throughout a spell. So yeah, it just depends on the attack. Sometimes it's not gonna matter no matter the attack.
The crater, or panicked at an unexpected ambush, or felt true despair as we realized...
Was that O'Neill or Neil?
Crater,
right? It's
or
the same
panic
thing. It's O'Neill.
At an unexpected ambush, or
Because Neil has a peg leg.
felt true
thingy.
despair as we realized the levels that were
Yeah, there is like a thing there.
stolen from us were gone forever.
I think it's getting absorbed. So those bugs absorb the levels and take it back to the boss. And I wonder if it actually makes the boss stronger.
Moments like
And maybe
these
the boss... Would the boss even spawn? If it actually does... If it doesn't take any levels? Like if the bug doesn't consume your levels. Maybe the boss is always going to be there and you can just kill the boss and then the bugs just stop chasing you.
are the heart of any good roguelite, and hopefully Nightreign is able to keep them coming at a steady pace. For more of our exclusive IGN First coverage of Elden Ring Nightreign, don't miss our hands-on videos with the Iron Eye and Raider classes. And for everything else in the world of video games, keep it here on IGN.
Thank you, IGN. Loy Power, thank you for the follow. What's up, man? GameSpot has a video on the new classes.
Tam, you and I got to play Elden Ring Nightreign. This is a new build. It is likely the final preview before release, and we played 2 new classes.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
History with it, I played the first preview and also the network test beta, and generally I'm excited about
What's going on,
what
Kaka?
it could be.
Yeah.
My whole preview is about, it's a game that kind of forces you to play Elden Ring the wrong way, like in a way that is counterintuitive if you're a long-time Souls player, which is really fascinating to me. But in terms of what we played today, I really enjoyed the new class that I played as. I played as the Iron Eye, which is a bow and arrow character and very much a distance-based character, which was fascinating because I didn't have a lot of health.
Yeah.
I was very squishy, which was, I kind of like,
That's
I
slick.
expected him to be more hardy, but it does make sense because it's a higher risk and rewards kind of system. I felt like his kind of cooldowns were a little quicker, and his 2 ultimate abilities are, he fires like a really charged arrow that staggers.
Yeah.
Kind of like the ones that the trolls kind of fire at you in Elden Ring, which is good for like knocking bosses out of like moves
Stunning,
and stunning
yeah.
that. And then his other ability is like a dash, and he's got a secondary blade, and he'll like slash with the blade, which I initially didn't notice he had a blade and was using it. So I was using that the entire time as an evasive maneuver, because if you point in a direction and activate it, he will go into that direction. And then one time I noticed, oh, I've got an actual blade that I'm hitting him with. So
Okay.
I found an extra utility, which obviously is going to be obvious to anyone that plays it.
Yeah.
But it gave him a little more versatility, which helped me escape some of the trickier situations.
Well, one thing I liked about your class was you were able to revive people from afar.
Yeah.
Passive of Arena where you can have higher loot rarities is perfect. They're pretty cool. I wonder if it stacks if you have multiple, which I don't really care to have the concept of stacking the same class, but whatever.
Which I think is super handy.
Yeah.
So I did play the beta, or the network test, and reviving people, for those who don't know, you have to like run up and smack them.
Yeah.
But with the arrow, like I'd be down across the map and a boss
was
would
like-
be aggroing and you'd just
Yeah.
pop me with arrows and I'd
Yeah.
get back up.
It is.
And to be fair, you can pick up an arrow with any character and do that exact same thing, like, right? Like an arrow, a bow and arrow is just useful to have no matter what. You just have one equipped. Because obviously there's no equipment load and you have like 6 slots. You might as well just have like one type of projectile option. And then arrows is really good because it's not going to cost anything just to be able to revive players. I got the ring knight armor after 70 minutes. Nice.
It is way better to do it that way. I also felt like in the boss scenarios, the bosses felt like they were targeting me specifically a little
You
more.
got a lot of heat.
I was like,
could
it was
tell.
instant. Like the moment the boss spawned, like you guys were hitting. We played with Ouroboros as well, well-known creator in the Souls community. And you guys were, he spawns in, you guys attack him, and he like turns to me and just comes straight at me. I was like, is he like prioritizing distance and like classes that
I think it's the bosses goes like on whoever like hits them last. So like if you hit them and then the boss will turn around and just whack you. And like when you're using a bow and arrow, you're going to be hitting a lot more consistently, especially if you're at a distance. You don't have to worry about dodging or anything. You just sit at a further distance and just keep peppering with arrows, which is kind of like the boss AI just doesn't really like suit the whole, like how the characters work. Like I feel like the boss AI should just be changed, enemy AI should just be changed like when whoever's like closer maybe? I don't know. I don't know. But it's kind of tough because like if that's gonna happen, then like your tanks are just useless. They're sitting there with a shield. What's going on at Boruto? How things, man? I don't know. Easy kill. The AI is smart.
we're going to be annoying from a thing. And it definitely felt like that. So I was on edge the entire time. Because also it does have that element of like when you...
Elden bosses will get more aggro on even onto a caster. Even if it's already wailing on someone. It's hard to explain. Maybe it's because maybe it's just because they read projectiles. Because bosses do read projectile attacks differently than melee attacks, obviously, which is why like things like input reading exist. So maybe because they read projectile attacks, like, okay, we'll get rid of that first because that's going to cheese me. Maybe they're just programmed that way. A Guardian Relic for getting more aggro for the rest of the team would be cool. Yeah, as I was saying earlier. Just having like a relic ability to do that, or just having it innate. Like when you have your shield up or some shit like that, you just get more aggro. Having a Shibriri's woe effect would be cool. I mean, I think there is going to be talismans in the game, and there might be actually having like a Shibriri's woe talisman, like literally in the game. You could just probably pick one up. Hope for the best. I have a 50/70. Nice. Oh, you're saying how do you get Bloodborne not to crash? I don't know. You better look that one up. Duchess gets weapon modifiers that take aggro off her. That's cool. Let's go on Zaid.
Start an attack, you do have to commit to it. You can't, it's very difficult to roll out of the bow and arrow shot.
I mean, I'm having problems with the Bloodborne thing too. Like I had it loaded up a couple times, it crashed on me like most of the times, and like it worked for me like once. I can't help you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
There's like a very limited window at the start where you can do it, but once you have committed to like a shot, even if it's a quick light shot, there's a period of time where you can't like invincibility frame through it.
Oh, okay.
And the boss we were fighting, the Nightlord, which was a nightmare, had like frenzy and madness and all this kind of stuff. We were clearly under
I
level.
think we did like 20% damage to it, but apparently we were pretty under level.
Yeah,
they were trying to get us through that demo.
When that boss attacked me, it had like a multiple swipe attack, and I was just repeatedly getting caught in it because I couldn't get.
So I haven't noticed till recently that actually does like stance damage.
Multiple swipe attack.
Because like that seems like it's the ultimate ability, right? For this character. Because this is not an actual weapon that you see. Because when you actually see the character, like in the title screen, the weapon's not like glowing at all. So it's pretty just summons like a whole separate sword. And that's pretty much just the ultimate ability, it seems like. And then, yeah, he just deflects.
And I was just repeatedly
and it stands breaks him.
getting caught in it because I couldn't
And it seems like that's probably like a regular ability or something that happens after the ultimate or something.
get
or,
out of
I
it
don't know.
quick enough.
And that's going to be one of the major bosses as well. This is one of the major Nightlord bosses. And he's like in the regular arena, regular game. So I'm not sure if this is like a placeholder thing or is this going to be like an actual instance where you can just fight the Nightlord boss throughout the game. Because like the Sentient Pest was there, so. Want a Sir Lone Skin for Executor?
It was interesting up until I started using the evasive move to get out of it. But it was fascinating, and
I'm using a bunch of mods, but the only one that seemed good is the Bloodborne launcher. What's this for? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I use like once like to, I don't know. I never had problems. Like, I don't know. Just keep trying, I guess.
the actual like camaraderie and communication element of it when we were playing together kicked in, and it felt like a much smoother experience this time around. I think they have like ironed out some kinks.
Weaker versions of the Night Lords pop up in the world randomly after you beat the Night Lord. Okay, wait. Where's that list of those bosses? Because like those, because IGN was playing the Libra boss, right? And that was the 5th Night Lord boss. So the game that they played on, or the account that they played on, already had the Sentient Pest killed. And that's probably why the Sentient Pest ended up spawning in on that world.
I think they jacked up the difficulty a bit as well.
It seemed harder than the network test.
Yes.
And the network test, at least the one I did, you couldn't play with friends. Like you could only play with randos, so there was even less communication.
Yeah.
So having that communication, definitely, I was like, okay, I get the appeal to this.
Yeah, the communication is a big part of the game, yet there's not going to be any voice chat or text chat or any type of chat or anything, or any of like custom, like just pre-made messages that you can just use. All you have to communicate is gestures and like spamming L1. It's different.
Yeah.
But I played as the Raider, which is also new, which is like a berserker, carries a big hammer or a big axe or whatever. And mine was definitely tankier, but it was kind of interesting how you were saying that like the bosses were focusing on you, because I felt like for the most part, like I was able to sneak around the bosses and just hit them with a you know, big heavy jump attack.
Yeah.
And that, but it felt good. It felt like, you know, people who like the great sword, the giant great.
There's a ping system. There's a ping system. Yeah, you can ping items and stuff. I forgot that. Yeah. At least that's that.
Sword and Elden Ring. Probably gonna like this too. I think the more interesting thing with the Raider though were the abilities, because it actually had like an environmental impact. I think
I like that there's no voice chat personally. Why? I mean, you could just turn it off. Like voice chat, it seems like if you're having a multiplayer game like this one, like if you don't like to talk to people, you can just turn it off voice chat, right?
One of my ultimates, I like stuck a knife in an enemy and then flipped away, and then this giant obelisk came out of the ground, which I don't remember if they said it made our attack stronger or if it did damage over time on the boss, but there was that one situation where everyone was down and I like stuck the boss with the knife, flipped away, the obelisk came up and it picked both of you up as well. And it was amazing. It was my favorite moment of that, because I was like, oh shit, I just saved us.
I was definitely using, once you did that, I definitely used it as like cover.
Yeah.
So like when the boss was coming, I ran around the other side to like get a little bit of heat off me. And that was really cool as well, because it got us up and then gave us a space to like get the heat off.
Yeah, to
which was
figure
really,
things
so
out.
like that kind of like multi-utility synergy moments were really cool. And we had that moment where like me and Ouroboros like at the same time hit an enemy, one of the higher level mini boss enemies, coordinate our ultimates, and it was so satisfying, just like rinsing the health bar. But yeah, it's a game that I'm excited to get some real hours into.
Because there's the exact same boss, but like in the Night Lord arena.
Longevity is still the question about it, especially considering that they said they're not treating this like a games as a service title, which is music to my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see like how much life it has.
Yeah.
Either way, an exciting prospect.
Yeah.
I wonder why it's music to his ears that it's not going to be a live service game. I mean, I would rather it not be a live service game because I don't want them to take away assets and constantly update a game that's running on the PS4. But yeah, if it was gonna have like a dedicated team to just keep updating the game, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, per se. Anyway, let's go on, Jimmy. You can turn off the followers mode thingy now, mods. Let's go react to this PAX gameplay.
Dome, we are your hosts. My name's Shy.
That's pretty cool. They have that weird igloo thing from Nightreign. They just copied Nightreign.
Welcome to Elden Ring Nightreign, the PAX experience. Welcome to the Dome. We are your hosts. My name's Shayo. This is
Welcome to the Dome. It's like announcing like a UFC fight.
Jake. And again, so if Mitch here beats the Nightlord, wins today, what do we feel about that? Whoa! You want to see that win.
Oh shit! It's actually they're actually using skins too. Nice. PAX champion Ouroboros.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's 2 Wilders. I still don't know how I feel about having like multiple characters in the same team. You know about Dark Souls 3 Dark Hand, easiest early dancer ever? Yeah, she's like really weak to dark damage, and yeah, that's the earliest dark weapon that you can really get. Well, you can get the deep battle axe at the beginning too. That could put in some work. But I think the dark weapon upgrades with Twinkly Titanite, so you can get like a bunch of twinks early on. So, well, it's gonna be some scuffed looking gameplay, but you know.
As they get into this run of Nightreign, we're going to break it down for you guys, dive into all the new systems, the new gameplay elements from this new standalone game in the series. Some elements you may be familiar with from the Elden Ring universe, but all in a new gameplay style. One totally unique to the franchise, built from the ground up for this multiplayer team play perspective, something that I think fans are going to be really excited about, the opportunity to jump into the action with their friends on the 30th.
It'll be so much fun to watch. I'm going to be there. You're going to be there in a basement locked in for 10 days. Just playing this game.
Is this like a... What skin is this? Because it looks different than the regular Waldo. Looks like the fucking... looks like the Abyss Watchers.
No food, no water. Just Nightreign. But we jump into the map.
Drink some water.
So
I don't know how I feel about how it's like it sets you up on a random... Well, actually, it's fine, I guess. Putting you in like a random location, I guess, is okay.
Hawks coming in.
That's the randomized aspect.
And you get to choose exactly where you want to disembark, drop down, and go on
It's
straight.
the dark version. I don't remember the Wilder having this long of a cape. Maybe it's, the colors is different. Maybe.
One, Jake, what are you really trying to do?
Day one is all about leveling up, all about taking down these smaller camps, smaller minions, and getting your snowball rolling. The stronger
The dark hand is not upgradable. Okay, never mind. Disregard.
you get, the quicker you are to traverse the map, the higher your level is going to end up being, and the better you're going to be prepared to take on that eventual
Doesn't that guy sound like Drake? Is it just me? This guy sound like Drake?
Nightlord. And believe me, they're going to need to be well prepared. They're going to need to have everything set up if they want to succeed here in this run.
Yeah, we talked about night fairs as well, basically the character you can pick before you
Doesn't it sound like Drake? I swear it does.
jump into the game. It kind of dictates kind of what the starting weapon of your class is, how you roll as well, and what your abilities are coming into the game. So if you zoom in here on Orwell's POV, you can kind of see there's 2 emblems towards the bottom of his screen. Those are the abilities. Just saw Wilder use his main ability right there. It's a grappling hook. So you can use it to actually scale across the map. You can grab weaker enemies
Drake
and
is
pull
elite
them towards
dev.
you. You can also grab large enemies and get pulled
Why didn't he jump? Jump.
towards them and kind of juke them out. So you're fighting a dragon, you grab its claws as it's flying towards you, juke under him. There's really cool things Wilder can do. There's 2 Wilders on the team this time. That's Guardian, my bad. There's the second Wilder. So one cool thing is you can actually stack Night Farers and get really cool comps running in the game.
Yeah, so you can run all sorts of different strategies, different groups of Nightfarers, depending on the Nightlord you want to hunt, depending on the way you guys want to build
Shield
and play.
poke.
And each Nightfare sort of has a different play style. The Guardian, definitely the tank of this group, has a very powerful
The thing is, the Guardian turns like every single... I was using a spear, not never
shield, can block a ton of damage, has a lot of stamina as you able to level up. However, you have a less mobile moveset than some of the other options, so there's always a give and take, always a risk and reward. Also, we're showing you guys here only on Sunday at PAX, we're being able to show off some of these new skins. So this is not the base skin for Guardian. to get these clean white threads, you're going to need to level up a bit, farm some currency to be able to get these unlockable skins, and of course, flex on your friends when you're able to play Nightreign together.
Yeah, it looks so sick. Usually Guardian is like a brown kind of bird and griffin, and then has those
You
brown
can shield break with halberds too. Yeah, the Guardian skin goes hard.
wings, like a silver armor set. Right now looking like a priest. Looks so cool. Blood gets on your feathers as well as you fight. It's really cool, man. There's a few skins per character, a little wilder as well. He gets this like purplish royal cape, very, very chromatic silver armor as well, that has like ornate designs on his helmet. So we're rocking skins for the first time.
Breaking down the
They're inside
skins
the
and how
game.
they look.
U50 know that now. Spread the word.
What does Stone Sword Keys do in this game? They unlock the Everjails. You need to unlock Everjails. Have they add unique enemies because fighting the golden hippo was trash? I don't think it's the golden hippo. I think it's the regular hippo, right? Which the hippo is fine. It's like more like the golden hippo that's kind of a pain in the ass because he's just the bullshit thorns and stuff. But the hippo is like, it's whatever. Whatever. It's better than fighting a fucking gargoyle, honestly. And an ulcerated tree spirit. I mean, they're kind of all in like the same tier of like mid, but hopefully they do have some like actual cool looking enemies. I don't think there's going to be any unique enemies, but like actually like good ones from the previous Souls games. But from what we've seen,
if you want to. When it comes to recording and video, you guys are allowed to record as much as you want. It's not a movie theater where you hit the popcorn coming in, right? But we're not charging for it. You have complete permission. Rock it out, get your memories in, share and talk about it on Reddit, wherever you want.
there's a tornado in the background. Go to that tornado.
Hashtag Elden Ring, hashtag Nightreign now. Leveling, Jake. I got 17 Chrome tabs, 2 Opera tabs, 3 Firefox tabs, 4 streams, 5 YouTube videos. Kind of wondering, what do I put my strength in? What do I put my intelligence tab for? What am I trying to play? In this game, how does the leveling work?
Yeah, so to keep pace with the incredible speed that you need to play Nightreign at, we've really simplified and streamlined the leveling system. So it's a one-button level up. You're just leveling up across the board, getting stronger. The rest of your build comes from your weapons, the passives you're able to find through the run. So leveling up is just very simply go to a site of grace, spam X, get as strong as possible, and then on to the next camp.
Now that being said, depending on what Nightfarer you pick, that's kind of where your stats are being allocated. So there are 2 Nightfarers also only available to show here at PAX East.
I understand why they don't show us like the actual stats though, so we'll still actually see them. I mean, it feels like every single character obviously levels up like, you know, amount of vigor, FP, and endurance. But it probably puts like the remaining stats into your damaging stats for whatever character you have. What's ones from the previous Souls games you wanted to see added? I don't know, the ones that I like, I guess. I don't know. There's probably like 50 bosses that I can think of that I actually like in the previous games.
Iron Eye and the Raider. The Raider would get his stats kind of more into strength.
Do characters have any alternative skills or ults? No, they have like the passive. You have your regular character skill, then you have your ult. But you can actually get, there's like certain like relic abilities that you can get that you unlock after like every single run. You get like some relics, and sometimes there might be a specific ability that like enhances a skill. So I know like the Wilder, he has like a relic that I picked up in the network test that it lets your grapple hook get a follow-up attack that does like this fire attack, kind of like flaming strike type of thing. Like you use the grapple hook, you spin up, do like this like 360 like fire attack, and it buffs the weapon too. It's pretty cool. So like there's stuff like that that can enhance some of the skills in the game. Can you answer my question? What was your question? What's this? Abyss Greatsword or Golden Tracer for my Dark Souls 1 heavy run. Go with the Abyss Greatsword. Come on now. Come on now.
Would be Dex when it comes to the Guardian that we see here as well. He's maybe rocking in for more like vigor and constitution. Wilder, kind of all arounder, might get some strength and some Dex and some.
You say Constitution? You say Vigor and Constitution? What is he playing? Neo?
Constitution right now. Where are they, Jake? What's going on?
Yeah, so they've chosen to open up an Everjail, unleashing this pack of beastmen on them.
The new like critical animations are pretty sick.
But they're continuing to fight through this, using the ultimate there from Guardian, creating that aura defensively for the team members around, and clearing through this difficult camp in the Everjail. It is going to yield some powerful rewards.
Are we talking about ultimates per character, getting into the nitty-gritty of it with Guardian on screen right now? For Guardian specifically, he's got that whirlwind which sometimes can knock mobs
Nice
off their
heavy
feet,
attack.
do a lot of poison.
Stupid weapon.
type of damage as well to very big bosses that might not fall. Nice first big boss going down. Shout out to the team playing right now.
Whoa!
Doing a very good job.
Yippee!
Talked about it too. 10,000 runes, by the way. Yeah, every time you beat a boss, you get an option of like a weapon or a passive. Sometimes for these jails, you get the options of runes or.
Why do you have a materia command? I don't know. I didn't make these commands. I didn't make these stupid fucking things on Nightbot. Those are my stupid mods doing stupid stuff. Adding in copy pastas for some reason. I don't know. That's not me. What if Executor can break enemy stance if he gets perfect parries? It can do that. It can. But it's only going to be for the ultimate ability, it seems like. I don't think it's going to have like a passive deflect. It might. But it does do stance damage. Because you see it in the first trailer. The first Nightreign trailer. Where you see like the Executor deflect. It's doing stance damage. Why are you mean to your mods? Because I pay them enough.
Very strong passes. So the more runes you have, the more you can level, and there is no fall damage in the game either. So we're good on that one. And the traversal gets insane with these spring jumps as well.
They're going straight now to the top of this next castle, using that spirit spring to traverse the map. With the dynamically generated maps, there's also many new options for traversing them. So every character is going to have these double jumps and a wall mantling ability, so you're able to navigate through the points of interest in new and different ways than you are able to in Elden Ring itself. There's an Abductor Virgin here down at the bottom of the castle. That's going to be the mini-boss they need to clear for those buffs.
I just realized this guy actually, he already picked up a passive that actually shoots out these like rolling magmas on the ground. I think if he stays still for long enough, it does like this rolling magma effect.
There's a lot of other threats here in this castle. You see Guardian looking to clear them out, finding this treasure room as well as the castle. Maybe there's some powerful consumables they could look to grab.
Oh my god, gotta be careful. Don't want to be grabbed. Know how scary this boss can be. Nice ult from Wilder. It's called the Onslaught Strike. He kind of charges up a punch. Yeah, we can hear it for it.
Yeah, woo!
The longer you charge it, the more damage, the more stagger damage it does as well. So sometimes a quick release, other times, yeah, over there, a very big boom.
Yeah, if you can charge that up, it's incredibly powerful.
It's just so fucking fun to use. That ultimate ability, you can like use the grapple hook, jump off the fucking wall, and like use it midair and stuff, and just go boom. It's like the most satisfying thing. It's so cool.
For getting a crucial stance break at a key moment, if the enemy's channeling a powerful attack, you really want to knock them down, then that is going to be your priority. So Wilder can be incredibly powerful as one of those mid-range frontliners. I mean, this group in general, full of bruisers, right? 2 Wilders and a Guardian. They're going to be very aggressive, looking to tank through a lot of damage, stance break a lot of the bigger foes, and get for those big crit ripoffs. One change in Nightreign compared to previous games in the Elden Ring and FromSoft franchise is that while you're riposting or backstabbing an enemy, it doesn't give them iframe. So the whole team is able to just wail in on single targets. When you're 3-on-1, you're incredibly powerful, but of course, the game is full of unique new challenges to keep up that signature difficulty.
Absolutely, look at that. Holding back and a nice
Love delayed attacks.
Consumable thrown as well at these beastmen.
That's another thing, like, once you get consumables, just, like, spam them. Because you get so many consumables in this thing. I remember, like, when I was first playing it, I was, like, saving them all, but you just end up getting so much stuff. Like, any single time that I just had the opportunity to just use consumables, like, as soon as I walked into, like, some random camp full of enemies, I just, like, started throwing my shit, popping my, pickled turtlenecks, pop my exalted flesh, and... and by the time you cleared out the camp, you just ended up getting some more consumables back. Can we add a lemon cookie recipe as a command? Sure. Do you see that Libra is weak to the frenzy status? I saw that was a thing there. Like it said, does it say weakness or like you can use that? I forgot what it said exactly, but it had like the madness symbol. But I thought that meant that he could actually just do madness himself. That's how I took that. Someone give me a link for the main video. Yeah, you can just type in this Elden Ring. I just typed in Nightreign packs, and this is like the 40-minute video. You can just type that up.
Gonna be able to raise him down. Trying to pick up this item as well.
That'd be a good thing to pick up. Getting Chilling Mist to proc a debuff.
Well, nice
Let's throw that bad boy
when
in
it comes to
offhand.
the amount of weapons to be held in the game, how does all that work, Jake?
Yeah, so we've gotten rid of the overloading system. By the way, here's that ultimate coming down 4 Guardians slamming in on top of the whole group of enemies. Leonine Misbegotten already low, trying to clear out this boss, clearing all the ads first, and Leonine goes down. Incredible burst
Maybe
there.
every single time he gets a kill, it's probably in a passive effect. He probably picks something up. Maybe it's on the weapon or he picked up an ability. But every time he's getting a kill, it shoots down this like rolling magma effect.
From the squad.
It's huge. Talking about the Guardian ult as well.
Never mind. Never mind.
You can hold it for that kind of damage reduction to the rest of your team. When that Guardian also
Well, that time it worked.
falls down, it'll be
Maybe there's a cooldown for it.
relevant later on for some of these bosses. It'll instantly revive everybody on your team that's down. So it's a very important ult. This guy's looking bloody as heck, but he's a very good protector for the team. You can see how some of these skins evolve. Like
Oh, you go with a healing flask every time.
default Guardian doesn't have this much swag.
It's like the best fucking things. Just grabbing a healing flask and just upping your healing flask to getting damage negation. Like the most important things.
Look this cool.
You got to get in, mix it up with many enemies. You can see that sky is starting to turn a little bit darker. We're here towards that afternoon, evening dusk. And that means time is of the essence, right? There's always that tide of night closing in.
Favorite class? I like playing with the Wilder the most. It's probably the most fun class in a network test. I don't know. But the Raider and the Hawkeye looks cool, and we'll see what the Executor and Revenant's like.
On you, forcing you towards the final boss zone here of Night 1. So our adventurers have to always decide, is it even worth clearing some of these small groups of mobs? For now, they're lower level. They're going to try and clear as much as they can, getting every last rune out of the map, trying to get these extra level ups before taking on that Night 1 boss. But time is of the essence. You got to make those priority decisions, communicating with each other in game time. Luckily, in this game, you can put pings on the map. You can communicate that way if you are queuing up and playing solo queue with randoms. If you're playing with your friends, you can easily hop on call and work together. And I think that's going to be one of the attributes of Nightreign that fans are going to be most excited about when they're able to get their hands on the game, is playing with friends, and that the game is designed for that from the ground up.
See, it's shit like this that I don't care for. Like, I don't care to fight bosses like 4 ancient heroes of Zamor. Like, I don't care for that to be a boss fight, you know? Like, to be fair, like, they're all spread out, so, like, you're supposed to, like, split up as a group. But this is, like, another reason why, like, the single player is going to be, like, kind of weird. Because, like, bosses are going to be like this, where it's going to be just, they're just time-consuming. You're just fighting, like, 4 trash mobs. What kind of, like, mini-bosses, I guess. I'd rather just be, like, just a boss from the previous... Like, this could just be, like, fucking the Taurus Demon. You could slap the Taurus Demon just right here. Who cares if it doesn't make sense lore-wise or thematic? Just throw in just a random boss. That's, like, actually pretty cool to see. Not just, like, the same Elden... I mean, the game is called Elden Ring, so I was like, whatever. But, I don't know. That's just me, though. Because, like, there's so many bosses like this. Like, we just fight just 4 Zamor Knights or, like, 4 Lendel Knights or, like, a group of, like, Misbegotten.
Ancient heroes are more in the business. Long not going to go for free. Guardian taking a lot of damage, has to back up here. Shooting with the rest of the team. I'm not sure if they want to commit to this one or maybe even run away. Oro actually going down. So how do you revive people in this game?
So you do revive your teammates from a down state by actually attacking them. John Rain goes down. 2 down. Trying to recover here is our PAX champion.
What is the afraid to use legacy stuff? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty, that speculation that they actually added Dark Souls enemies, like, well into the development kind of makes a lot of sense here. Because I feel like they just wanted to have Elden Ring enemies and, like, you know what? Fuck it. We're kind of running out of ideas for, like, bosses and stuff. We'll just have stuff from the previous games and throw them in here, which, because, you know, why not? It's a spin-off game. It's just not canon, so.
Looks like Oro did have to take the respawn.
But it feels like they're, like, you know, well into development they actually came up with that conclusion. But I feel like, you know, just, I don't know.
Now, when you do end up going down in the daytime like that, and then you kind of time out over 10 to 15 seconds, you do get to respawn in, but you will lose a level. Now, that means you're going to be having less overall stats. That means sometimes the weapons you have might not be able to get held. It also means that you kind of had wasted time in the run. It does set you back a little bit, but that doesn't mean you're going to be back.
I fucking hate fighting enemies on horseback, man. It's so annoying. I think fighting trash mobs from Elden Ring is just going to be uninteresting. Hopefully they're just placeholders for now. That's what I thought. And, like, they know. They know because I sent in... Do you know my video that I made? Talking about my thoughts on the network test? I literally talked about this exact stuff. Like, things that I would like to be changed. You know, actually having less trash mobs that people don't like to fight and fighting some cool bosses and not being safe with the actual like balancing of the game and like having the characters not be powerful and stuff, you know? Let's look at all these different things. And I literally sent it to the Bandai Namco employee, and he literally said that I'm going to send it directly to the devs. I'm going to send in your massive like report, and I'm going to send in your video as well, because I actually really like them. It's like, cool. So like the devs literally got this. So they know my opinions. So if they don't do it, that means they just ignored me and they don't care. Thoughts on the 2 leaked classes for the Tarnished Edition? I don't have any thoughts, I guess. I don't know. Or I said that this is the release build, so it's not looking good. Yeah. I don't have any thoughts, I guess. I don't know. Like the classes, I mean, there's probably going to be more than that. It's probably just going to be just armor sets and just weapons. So I don't know what the weapons are going to be like. One of them looked like they had the Milady. But I don't know what the new weapons are going to be like, which is the only thing I'm really interested in. But it'd be like some armor sets from like the previous games, which is pretty cool. Can't go wrong with that. If they have the duck helmet, they give me the fluted set back, then I'll be hyped about that. But I don't know. We'll see what the weapons are like. But like, yeah. I know starting classes don't make a difference. They're not sets from the past games. I mean, I'm pretty sure like in the trailer or the screenshots for the Tarnished Edition, didn't they say that we saw the Faram set there? And we saw a Lucatil set there, didn't we? Pretty sure we saw those 2 sets. And like the Dark Souls 3 Knight armor, but like slightly reskinned in color.
The entire time, there's definitely time you have to come back in. Oro taking out some of his rage at dying on an innocent man on a horse, man. I mean, are we the villains of the story?
Always a dangerous question in the FromSoft games, how cool the bosses look. They tend to be sort of the real stars. We got to see, though, Oro's got this frost proc on his cleaver. Could be incredibly powerful. Actually amplifies the damage enemies take when they take a frost proc. So really great for that team play, that focus fire, taking down bigger bosses together. They're going to approach this castle through the sewers. Usually there's a boss spawn here if they want to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to tap in and see exactly what they can find. Inside is the
another Zamora Knight.
Not actually buffed up by whatever biome.
He's got a red eyes.
Cyclone was above him. This time inside the dungeon, the issue is going to be spacing. So the team will take him on. He's going to just backstep dancing right now. I mean, I'm entertained. The people who are playing are probably happy as well because he's not attacking him. Chain damage after chain damage. This guy is literally hitting the gritty in the corner and going down.
Yeah, woo! We broke the boss AI.
Let's go! Since you go to Vegas, Jake, what do you think? Was him in the Vegas after that? And what's it called?
Successful parries activates golden retaliation. That's kind of lit, I'm not gonna lie. If parries were actually useful. Because it seems like you're going to parry like half of this. Oh my god.
Nightreign bosses got talent. What do you think?
He definitely should win.
Yeah.
There's a great catch by the team there. Hitting him in the corner, and they're able to grab that level up. These bigger points of interest, though, can often feature...
Are there specific weapons for each character? Can the Recluse can use the Giant Crusher, yeah. The Recluse can use a Giant Crusher. And there's no like stat requirements either. There's like level requirements, but no stat requirements. So. But every single character starts off with their own like specific unique weapon. Yeah, love you too, buddy. But like you don't have to make a bunch of like bot accounts and just to comment. You don't have to do that. I'd rather you did not do that and like spam my chat. Respectfully. But thanks for the support, but... Kara, do the thing. Any super interesting things you've gone over today? We're just like covering some of like the videos and stuff. There's been some like things I've kind of learned more about, like how the Limveld is going to evolve and stuff, and we're learning more about the game through this and seeing different types of abilities and stuff that we haven't seen already, so...
Multiple bosses, different...
Nothing super crazy, though.
Loot rooms, and so you really want to be careful. You don't want to leave any stone unturned. There's often going to be more to find as you explore through, showing off some of the new traversal mechanics as well, tracking through these areas as quickly as possible.
We'll be working on getting some talismans here too. Talismans, really good passive things that can stack for you. on day 2 as well. They end up having they just be even better for you in general as well. But here on day 1, we can see how far we can go with them. It's really good to have as many things up in your inventory as possible. Again, all the weapons you have, the 6 you carry, even if you have the...
Have there's mimic chests, and don't ask me why. I don't think they're gonna add mimic chests because it's like end up slowing down like the pacing of the game, right? I think they want to be like have it be fast paced, like the looting system just be quick. Like mimics make more sense in a game where there's like more exploration and stuff. So I don't think we're gonna see mimics for a while.
Most amazing weapon.
Because it's not even like a chest opening animation in this game, right? Like you just interact and it opens automatically because it's just about pace.
That you want to use the entire time.
Give me a raise, you're fine. I mean, you could just change the follower mode. You don't have to ban everybody. You don't have to do that.
Every weapon has a passive, so you're kind of min-maxing on passives the entire time. It's good to go for fights. You'll always get better offers. You're always going to be trying to min-max your build.
Looks like our guardian here got some.
Mimic trader. A mimic merchant. You just like interact with the merchant and just like just fucking riposts you and backstabs you.
Glintstone daggers, but took a massive magic pot. Some giants up on the high ground. Throwing those down on you. Got to be careful. Got to make your way up using that new traversal system. Grabs a quick health pick up on the map before progressing forward. Needs to climb up to that high ground and deal with those giants. Grab the loot that they offer.
So sick. You're going to hit. You can jump right towards these giants. Going to skip a little bit of one for now. Not sure exactly where the zone is. Hit again, and I feel like the team is starting to take it slightly personal. Well, straight for the giant. Skipping the ads. Getting stomped down. This guy's definitely not from Zamora. He's actually doing something.
Guardian trying to use those skills, trying to deal with some of the ads. The edge of night is very near. They've got to be careful. Big riposte in the giant.
Random person just yells, yeah! Hefty pots confirmed. I think that's the giant was using the pot, right? Maybe there is hefty pots in the game.
Getting him very low. Follow-up damage is there.
Chaos right now. Gotta just try to chop him down.
Yeah! Woo.
Oh, second giant. Where is he? Do we know?
Yeah.
Do we also care because the zone is
What did you get pick up? I think it was damage negation.
coming in, so sometimes you gotta let giant gons be giant gons.
That was
Not the
awful.
best one.
Still grabbing that. I thought it was pretty good, man.
It's true. It's very true.
And now they're in this tide
Train is like a sports event. Yeah! Woo!
of night. They got to move quick. Finding a spirit spring. It's going to be a boon here as they try to progress towards the center of the map. So they jumped over actually a spectral merchant there. Maybe not worth hitting while they're on the run, but there's opportunities to spend your runes on consumables, on level ups.
They're only in day 1 as well. The crowd's gonna go crazy in day 3. He does not yap about his own life, doesn't spend his time telling his life to other streamers. Like other streamers, just focusing on the game's content. Most bearable streamer for me. Well, I'm glad that me just talking about the game is enough for you, buddy.
There's a lot of choices to make for the run. And they want to grab those level ups. They want to hit those sites of grace, restore their flask count coming into the boss.
Yes. Hitting up the entire mob. The circle now, you don't pass by a golden veil or anything. The circle just kind of locks in, and that is the arena you fight the boss in. So whether that's a bridge, the top
Wonder
of the
what boss is
castle,
gonna be.
a field like this, a forest.
Because like when you're playing the network test, it was pretty much just either like the demi-humans, there was the centipede demon, the draconic tree sentinel, and something else. Morgoth. Like those 4.
A lake, it changes game after game. You're kind of following the map, and we have
A Royal Revenant
and a Guardian Ultimate on top of it, doing big damage.
I wonder what the healing items will do against this boss. Because like typically they just do half health. But I don't think they'll actually work against a boss, right?
This is night boss number 1.
They're coming in immediately aggressive right now.
Why do they do this though? Why don't they like actually put like the fun bosses that people like? Not like, hey, look, we're gonna have the most annoying, obnoxious bosses.
Trying to get as much as they can while they're trying to build up that ultimate. Would love to get a posture break, but the Royal Revenant is a tricky one.
Oh, what are you doing? It's like a unique attack.
Up as well.
Oh,
Kind of
shit.
trying to interrupt him. Frostbitten, and now the damage starts to stack. Grappling hook available as well to maybe get close
He's like bigger than normal. I don't know.
and use that ult. Trying for it. Here comes the 1 TP. Getting up close, charging, and boom!
Yeah.
Big damage, big stagger. Now everyone jumps in. Oh, 3 big poops on the Revenant.
Massive hits coming in so far. Now they're out of ultimates. They need to get this one down the old-fashioned way. Continuing to play aggressive. Big blocks coming out from our Guardian. Such a powerful bird. You can see covered with the blood of
Such a powerful bird. Here's the skill.
his enemies. A serious threat.
Dude, the skin started white. Now it's like pitch red. All right, Revenant actually getting way past the zone. If this is a sumo match, we won. But unfortunately, it is Nightreign. Jumps back in. On all sides, it's really cool seeing a 3v1 because you can really turn the boss in different ways. Big slash.
Here's a follow-up. It's percentage damage. You'll be fine.
Love to see it. Fireballs coming everyone's way. We're going to be trying to dodge every single one of them and every single POV as well. Last lunge. More damage from the back. Down to about 15% of HP. He escapes again. This guy is a sticky one. Another ult from the Guardian.
They all get different stuff. Dragon Wound. What does that say? Is that like this Dragon Wound Grease? Dragon Communion incantations add anti-dragon effect to armament. Is that what it says? God counters activate holy attacks. I actually remember using this one. I think this one is like a. I think it was like the Black Steel Great Hammer effect. FP restoration upon successive attacks. Successive attacks extra FP. I think I had this one with. I think this actually worked with spells. I think I actually had this with Stars of Ruin, and it kept giving my FP back. There's like another ability that worked with Stars of Ruin. I can't see what those abilities are. Let me see him.
The offers you have from this boss, there's
Go
so
back to the other guy.
much greater.
What did he pick? Show
So
the other
defeating
screen.
the night boss is gonna
Increased enemy damage after critical hits plus 15%. Well, that's like the Blade of Mercy.
It's going to yield some of the most powerful rewards of the run. Oftentimes, these passives can be game-defining. They can lead you in a new direction of your build. So you
What about challenge runs are gonna look like in this game? If you can stack the most passives in one run? Yeah. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see. Some source saying that Executor can use incants too. I mean, other characters can use incantations, right? You're just not going to get as much damage. But you can pick up like a staff with any character and start spamming spells. Like any character can use all the weapons and all the spells and stuff. This is going to be like damage dependent on like which character you have. Like it's not going to be much of a point using spells with like the Guardian because you're not going to have much FP nor have high intelligence.
You have an expectation about the way you're going to sort of play the run to start based on the night fare you select, but you never know the way these passives are going to take you. You never know what you might end up prioritizing as you get into a new game of Nightreign.
Day number 2 pops up, and Jake mentioned
One of the best miracles in Dark Souls 3. Sunlight Spear, which you get off the final boss. Dory's Gnawing is like amazing for bosses because it does like insane bleed buildup. So enemies that can be procced to bleed, you can use Dory's Gnawing. And Lightning Stake. That's probably your best 3. Wrath of the Gods is pretty decent too. You can use Wrath of the Gods. Yeah. But try and pick up, what's it called? The Rose of Ariandel as soon as you can.
a little bit, but I'll get real with you again about it. He said the map is dynamic, so I know a bunch of smart faces in the ground were like again about it. He said the map is dynamic, so
no, it's not. I was tripping.
I know a bunch of smart faces in the ground were like, wow, the way these guys played that day one, I wouldn't have gone for the castle. I wouldn't hit the ravine. They got hit by zone. Are these guys pros? I would have done it this way. The map is different every single time. So if you have that wish when you're playing Elden Ring, man, I wish I could play this for the first time again. You get that wish granted with every single Nightreign run. So castles spawn weirdly in different places. Ravines, bridges, everything geographically changes every single time. The mobs that spawn as well. We faced giants throwing jars. That could have been a magma worm on top of that castle. There's random events that happen as well. Meteorites, volcanoes blowing up, storms that just spawn golems. This game gets insane with every single run.
Yeah, this could be a good.
How many chances they're adding Shadow of the Urchi bosses? Probably. I mean, we did see the hippo there, but it seems like this game was like being developed or like made somewhere around about the same time as Shadow of the Urchi, maybe, or like beforehand, I guess, because I mean, it had to be beforehand. And they're actually using a build of the game that seems like it's day one. Because like a lot of the weapons have like older movesets and stuff, and we didn't see any Shadow of the Urchi weapons, so I feel like the hippo is going to be the only one, and it kind of leads me to believe that the hippo was probably something that was designed really early into the process, maybe before like the base game, but they ended up putting it in the DLC instead. We did see the demi-human swordsman as well. What's his name? Yoda. That little monkey dude. We saw him as well.
Moment here at the start of day 2, the calm before the storm. Ouroboros, I'm going to call you in right now. How are you thinking about this run coming up against a dragon fight?
I'm feeling pretty good. Still upset I lost the level, but we ran into some really nasty mobs there. But I think we're turning it back, and guys, we're pretty sacked right now. I got bleed on my katana. Our friend Mitch has bleed on his flail. I'm not sure what John and Nightreign has, but I think he's doing just fine. I think we're really stacked away here.
Sounds good, sounds good. We'll leave you to it as you take on the Flying Dragon of the Hills. A powerful foe here. Day 2, will a much tougher test, that flame attack. One you've got to watch out for. But continuing to take that aggression, bleed procs, doing percent HP damage, powerful against an enemy as tanky as the dragon.
Oh my god, pedicure time for the team, but the review's not good for the dragon. Still tapping into it, trying to find his feet. Grapple goes a long way here and trying to go along as well. Really hitting that face now. Flying Dragon on the hill, sometimes you're fighting on flat ground. Yeah. This time we're kind of in between like 2 mini cliffs. It's really interesting where these mobs end up spawning inside the map. Again, falls down.
Sound like an audience in a sitcom? Yeah. No ancient dragons are cooler. Why just have like the lit dragon right now, for example? I don't know. Fighting ancient dragons is way worse though. Like even though they are cooler, but I don't know, fighting them is always worse. So much more annoying because they're skinnier and they move more.
Below, so we can really utilize jump shots. There's the Guardian ult. Big stack of damage. And there goes down the dragon.
Like this is where you should put like just a random like Dark Souls boss here instead, you know?
So, trying to find that riposte. Able to hit him hard square in the face. And then maybe follow up with a boom after the fact as well. There it is. A second one coming in. The damage for the team.
Ooh, they ordered half health on one tail swipe. That happens like this is the entire game. You just keep spamming until you just, I guess, I don't know. Hope for the best.
It's enough for the dragon to hit him for now, but
treating like an MLG event with 100k on the line, yeah. Boom.
They just gotta go around and breathing fire and take him down.
Had that dragon scale blade the entire time.
Yeah.
Scepter the all-knowing, family heads. I mean, Scepter the all-knowing would be like a great pickup if you had the recluse, because that's like a nice debuff. Restores HP upon guarding. HP recovery upon successful guards plus 10. Huh.
So the rewards for taking on a tough enemy like the dragon, an optional one you could easily path around it. You could go a different direction if it was your run. But they choose to fight it. They're able to be successful in pretty quick time as well. Gives them a lot of runes towards their level up, some more powerful passives or weapons that they can stack up, continuing towards completing those builds.
And exploring and fighting crowds of enemies seem to be more fun than the bosses so far. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Depends who you're fighting, I guess. It depends, like, when you end up stacking up all your fun abilities, and it becomes really fun. Even the boss fights do when you just fuck them up really quickly.
Constantly, they've got to discuss with each other, right? Playing together. Key aspect of Nightreign is deciding where do you want to go, how do you want to traverse. The team has 5 flask uses. Might want to upgrade that. Getting 6 or 7 could be a little bit more ideal when it comes to facing down the Nightlord, a more endurance-focused fight. You see they've marked on the map that church. They're going to head there together and pick up exactly that buff.
Absolutely. If day one's about like choosing your cookie size, making the batter, day two's putting the cookies in the oven, getting intentional with it, and that smells good. Eating the cookies afterwards as well. It's all about hunting down what you want on the map, going for boss after boss, being very, very intentional with gaining buffs time after time.
6 or 7 is more than 5. That is correct, yeah. Do the flasks kill you to full? No, the flasks don't heal you to full, no. At this point, they'll probably do like 60%. But there is like buffs out there that were like kind of like the Crimson Sea Talisman. Like there was like a buff that you saw throughout this gameplay that you can have like 20% better heals. But it might scale though with the amount of health that you have, I guess. Maybe. Maybe not.
POI after POI.
Yeah, it's looking like someone on the team's got a passive to cast those lightning strikes maybe when they dodge or walk past enemies. So that could be a powerful buff, and a lot of these passives can really change the way you're approaching the game. They can lead you down a different route, a different playstyle than you expected. To talk a little bit more about some of the characters, we've been seeing some of their active abilities, while every Nightfare also has a powerful passive ability. The Guardian has massively improved shield blocking skills, so he can be particularly effective at tanking massive hits with that shield, holding the aggression of powerful enemies. Wilder, their passives, actually, you can see them under the health bars. Those blue icons are actually a cheat death ability that is unique to Wilder. It's on a very long cooldown, but when Wilder takes a lethal strike, one that would knock you out, he's able to get basically a free dodge of that ability and stay alive for the moment. It's on a long cooldown, so of course you don't want to be overutilizing it. Another Everjail, going to be open, Stone Sword Key deployed. Let's see what comes out.
God's gonna Bossel joining the fray. Not sure if Big Bro's here, but let's see what happens. Nice hits from all sides of 3v1 again. These bosses might be here from older and other games, but their movesets, their speed of movement as well, has been updated to fight 3 separate players. So, gotta be careful with it. Give it some respect. This team does not care at
Say they made the bosses faster?
all. That's falling down around them,
Oh,
but
you gotta get out of there. That's gonna hurt.
they might straight just be going for the damage.
Black flame attacks are deadly.
You got a clutch block right there as well. He might have died there if he didn't block. Nice play.
Gotta be careful rushing in. Our team wisely backs off for the moment, trying to get the finish. They get the grab onto one, but the rest of the team is there, staggered and killed.
So that the boss's speeds were the same. Gain 20,000 runes. Successive attacks for FP.
20,000 runes. That is a hefty price for the Apostle, man. That's crazy. Now, immediately after beating bosses, you also get a Side of Grace, so you don't have to kind of flag one down. It's very nice to be able to just cash in really quick and level up.
A lot of mechanics have been streamlined to make your experience better while you're trying to boss rush through. You see those red...
I remember getting the passive that turned your flask into a heal over time instead of an instant heal. Pretty useless. Yeah, I remember getting a flask that healed in an AoE. But the animation was so slow because it did like the perfume buffing animation effect. And it healed you for so much less as well. Like it was like a useless relic. It was a relic, it wasn't actually a buff in the game. But yeah, it was stupid. That one was awful. I was like, I get to heal my allies. And I thought I was gonna like drink the flask and like buff my allies like I did in Dark Souls 1. Because in Dark Souls 1, your Estus flask killed your allies. But that was the only way to actually for the allies to heal. Because like the Estus flask didn't work when you were a summon. I thought it was going to work like that, but then it has a different animation that's slower, and it's less HP. And it only works when they're close by. So it's like... Actually, no, it might not work when they're just close by. It actually might work when they're anywhere. Maybe. I kind of forget now. Kaza said the boss is modified to fight 3 people, but it's literally the same as the base game. Yeah, it seemed like it was the same. I mean, it could be like faster movesets maybe for some attacks, but I don't know, the speeds seem the same, and I fight the Godskin a lot. Should I buy the standard edition or deluxe edition? Just buy the standard edition. I think the deluxe edition where you come with like a digital soundtrack or some shit, and it comes with a DLC, but you can always buy the DLC afterwards if you want to, you know? If you really like the game. But who knows, you might like hate the game, then buying the DLC is kind of useless to you.
Marks on the map are also locations of world bosses, so you can decide as a group if you want to go hunt those down, look for the biggest, most powerful buffs. Looks like this begun. Oh no, it's a Bellberry Hunter. Uh-oh. Much tougher foe.
Immediate ult comes in.
This guy doesn't know that the Godslayer's greatsword gets a follow-up attack. He doesn't know about the follow-up.
Weapon arts being used as well. Now this guy is tough to beat, tough to stagger. And we're looking at the POV of a few dodges here real quick as well. He's going to be hitting in 360 degrees, his sword.
And this is like, seems like it's pre-buff as well for some of these movesets. Like the flails actually have a much faster moveset now.
Practically just thrown around over and over again to actually get him down. But he's not relenting. Another knock here real quick.
Very hard to voice through these hits, and playing at range can be its own risk against the Bell-Bearing Hunter. Has some powerful ranged moves telekinetically using that sword.
See, if I'm fighting the Bell-Bearing Hunter, I'd be like, just leave me alone, let me fight it one-on-one so I can actually tell what it's doing. This is what I'd like. It's like, let me go handle this guy, you go fight something else.
Guardian trying to hold the aggro, trying to tank through some of these heavily damaging skills, trying to finish that ultimate, but even the Guardian gets thrown on his back.
I was talking about some of the mechanics these people have now that's new.
Here's a follow-up.
End up maybe
He doesn't know it has a follow-up.
One person going right for another.
Oh, got
grabbed. Under the Guardian, the damage is insane.
What a call-out. God. I mean, to be fair, as commentators, they're not doing too bad of a job. It's just like... for something like this, I don't know, it's pretty funny. But they can speak well.
Nice stagger again.
Our heroes trying to fight this one out. Guardian going in for the ult from above.
And now he's holding it, so no damage for the rest of the team for him as well. He just
They're already buffed, I think. I think you have to wait like about a couple seconds. I don't think you have to wait that long, right?
stays strong.
Maybe the longer you hold it, the more of a damage buff it gives, or the damage negation buff it gives. I don't know.
That's why they call him the Guardian. Shield
Unless like the AoE when they're standing inside of it is like damage negation for that extended period.
up as well, but the Bell-Bearing Hunter does not care about one person. He wants to hit anything that's in his way. Nice dodge from the team as well as they keep up the damage. Oh my God!
Ouroboros takes a big hit, needs to back off and heal. They're chipping down this health bar. Guardian, low stamina, but he gets the backstab. Big hit on the Bell-Bearing Hunter.
So locking in, wait for the stamina.
Little by little.
Yeah.
Little by little, they're chipping him down, getting him low. Some final attacks coming in. Speed, always the name of the game in Nightreign, so you see why our group
Dodge
is
that one.
backing
Oh, he's
off.
redirecting it. See, that's the shit that I'm talking about. It's like, oh, he's going for somebody else. Let me just keep hitting him. And like literally mid grab attack, he just turned around and went to grab somebody else. That was a clutch dodge.
Ronald just barely evades that grab.
That is crazy. Jumping over the sword behind him, beside him, trying for it. Ult's about to come up again, so maybe they just cash in and use it. There's a stagger. They're just jumping on him now. Beat him up! Beat him up!
I love the crowd. It's great. That's great. That's good stuff. Yeah. Alabaster's Lord Sword. I think like... So the thing is, like, if you're playing with a strength character and you pick up the coded sword, you're probably going to be doing shit damage because it inherently gets a faith scaling, right? But like, I wonder like how it actually works. Unless it gets taken into account like your damage. So you look at the attack stat and it might be scaling off your actual damage or your stats that you have. So you might just go based on that. Kind of weird. I don't know. So I still wish you like your stats were visible and actually there were still scalings on this thing. Like, they try to streamline it, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll see how it works in the full game. Improved fire attack power, plus 12. Summons Dark Clouds. I actually remember picking this up. It does like a founding Rain of Stars effect when you're slow walking. Like when you're doing like an RP walk. It does founding Rain of Stars. It's like the most useless ability. Gotta do a passive and relic ranking? Yeah, I know. It's gonna be kind of hard because I have to like go see every single one of these things and get gameplay for every single one too. And you can't go out already to pick them. So let me see the other characters, what they get.
Out some of these powerful rewards. Could be that last item drop that gives you the run-defining weapon, completely changes your strategy as you're headed in towards that final boss. There's still a bit of light left in this.
Damage negation of full HP plus 40%. Gives like an inherent ritual shield talisman, kind of. It's pretty cool.
Maybe a couple more points of interest they could try to hit. Get that last level up. Level 11, level 10. These are on great pace so far in the run. You really want to be at that level 12, level 13, potentially even threshold when it comes to taking on that Nightlord. That would be a fantastic spot to be in. So far, our runners are on pace for that.
slow pressing in. You can see kind of the traversal that happens here as well. The rest of the team getting ready to fight. There seems to be the Albinorix.
You see the Bungie news today? Yeah, I saw like that one of the employees just like copied some fucking guy's designs and stuff. Like, I don't care. It's kind of stupid, but whatever.
I mean, they're just kind of chilling around, but
Kind of hapless after defeating the Bellbearing Hunter. These guys.
See, like the thing is with the Guardian, it gets like the same moveset for like every single halberd, but like some halberd movesets are better than the moveset that he gets. It's like the heavy attack that he gets here is like a spin to win, but arguably like the regular golden halberd heavy attack is like a regular downward slam, and I'd honestly rather have that one than the spin to win. So like it's kind of weird. It's like just directly just an upgrade. It's like a side grade. Sometimes it could be worse. Sometimes it could be better.
I swear to God, man, that we got it.
Sacred Nagakiba. Improved flask HP restoration. See, there you go. Improves your flasks by 20%, which is the same thing as the Crimson Sea Talisman. Sacred Claws, Blood and Claws with Golden Vow. Every time.
Investigate who's writing this story.
Actually, no, you get the flask upgrade.
Ooh, Nagakiba here as well.
He's going for the
Again, you don't have
Nagakiba.
to use these weapons, but the buffs themselves.
What does it give? Multiple periodical. I don't know. It's like glint blades, maybe. You had Golden Vow and you had 20% more flask restoration. I mean, the Nagakiba is the better weapon, but I actually, yeah. I mean, they both get blade though. I don't know.
Can just sit in your inventory. A weapon that a lot of people love, though, the reach of the Nagakiba is just so long, so I end up picking that one up just in case.
Yes, glint blades, yeah.
And yeah, that just looks cool. I mean, 4 glint swords, a spear on your back, and then holding the Nagakiba, walking through a lake, Jake. I mean, rate the drip.
The drip is on point here. Love the Nagakiba as well as that. I think that's the Crucible Knight spear on his back. So able to get a lot of iconic weapons. That Glint Blade passive is especially powerful, giving that.
Wish you could choose before when you leave what moveset we want, yeah.
Damage over time, even while you're just evading and dodging.
At this point, would you say that you have to be the top 10 knowledgeable people on Elden Ring like ever to live at this point? Top 10, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows more about the weapons than I do, honestly. Maybe there's a couple people out there, but yeah. This is compared to content creators and stuff. I don't think there's anybody else that knows much about the weapons in PvE, at least. I don't know.
But you can see it's turning to dusk here. Our group has to keep moving. The zone's going to close on them eventually, so they want to get everything they can before that tide of night encompasses valuable points of interest.
Always a race against time. Guardian taking on an entire camp of innocent villagers. The team comes in as well. We take him out. Now, it's really interesting. Sometimes you have like archers on wolves over here. Sometimes you have battle mages. It's always changing every single time. So it's really cool to see when you jump into a spot exactly what's going to be breaking down. Got to be careful how much time they spend here now, though, right? Because that zone is coming in.
The Albinuric bosses. It's exactly what I want to fight. Would I want to fight the Dragon Slayer armor here? No. Do I want to fight Champion Gundyr here? No. Would I like to fight the Looking Glass Knight? No. Albinurix. That's the boss that I want to fight.
Yeah, it is a race against the clock. Getting rid of these enemies, trying to knock them down. Get that buff, get on your way.
Okay, Monk's Sacred Flame Blade. Pest's Sacred Glaive. Why are they all dropping Sacred infused? Is it like more likely to drop Sacred for this character because he's probably a Strength Faith based character, maybe? Is he a Strength Faith? Is a Guardian Strength Faith? I don't know. Raises potency of sorceries and incantations by 7%. I don't know.
No incantations really for the Guardian, so we'll elect to maybe take another weapon that has a better buff, and that's exactly.
Why is Albinurix a boss? I mean, they have a bunch of like every single time that you go to like a ruins or like some little camp, there's always going to be like a boss there, and the boss is always like a collection of trash mobs. Like they just have a boss health bar. Like they could have it as not be a boss, but like for the sake of just giving you rewards, they just gave it a boss health bar. Then you just clear out the trash mobs, and then you just get boss rewards, I guess, which is cool. But yeah, you're still fighting like just a bunch of Elden Ring enemies, which you've already been doing forever.
What he does, dump into the levels as well. We're up to level 12, which is really good for the team so far. That circle closing in once again. Some more stuff to do kind of towards the north. Again, that's the situation.
Our weapon ranking is ranked by opinion if you don't look up your opinion. What? Hoping that it's placeholders? Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying for the network test, but this seems like it's going to be like pretty much the full product. This seems like it's going to be like the final build, and then Mario Pro is going to make slight tweaks here and there. So this is kind of concerning, honestly. Because I remember saying that for the network test, like, oh, this is probably just a placeholder, but I don't know anymore.
Situation for day 2, right? You're just kind of grinding in, farming mobs, looking for bosses. It's a little bit harder. You saw it with the Hunter. You make mistakes here, you could go down. But so far, the team, Jake, looking strong.
Yeah, they're getting a lot out of the map. On fantastic pace so far. And our Guardian, honestly, leading the way right now.
I mean, honestly, the whole, like, just having some Dark Souls enemies there was just like a big giant tease. So it's like you show us a nameless king in the trailer, and then proceed to just, like, not put any Dark Souls bosses there. It's like, ugh, you just teased us. Like, the game is still called Elden Ring, so obviously it makes sense to have a lot of Elden Ring enemies, but, you know, still.
Very fly with this skin. And just evading some of these smaller mobs, prioritizing some more important loot. Maybe it's a Church of America flash upgrade, would make a lot of sense. They have a little bit more time to work with. But this is the fun of Nightreign is, you know, if you're playing with your friends, you guys are deciding where you want to go in every run. And you're going to have to dynamically...
Do you think the Royal Rat Authority should be added? Honestly, I'd love to see the Royal Rat Authority. That'd be great. That'd be hilarious. Increase the weapon speeds to modern day Elden Ring, or is it still day 1? It seems like it's still day 1. I'd have to play with it, but we'll see. I feel like it's not going to change, because I feel like they're just going to be building around the the day 1 build, and just go from there. Because I feel like they've been working on this for a while, and they're just like using just the day 1 build, because it just makes sense. Because like they've been making this while Elden Ring's also been receiving updates, so they haven't been doing it at the same. They've been doing it at the same time, but like not working together. I mean, maybe because Dark Souls bosses are too easy. I mean, they put the Centipede Demon in there, you know. I mean, you know, like is fighting a bunch of Albinurics, is that is that hard? Challenging? I don't know. The map layout doesn't change, just the buildings and stuff. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, but obviously they're not gonna have they're not gonna change up how the cliffs spawn in. It's just gonna be the buildings and like random events and stuff, but it's just the one map, you know. If they're gonna have multiple maps, then maybe, but yeah. Because you said to have like the whole maps and the cliffs be designed to where you actually can traverse them. So like I don't mind that. And having just a bunch of just buildings be in different locations and shit. That's whatever. But I would like for there to be more maps. Maybe the DLC adds another one. Who knows?
Back to the threats you see before you, the opportunities that you can find on the map. You're never going to see this.
It seems like they actually were updating some of the bosses' movesets too. Like the Centipede Demon had like a slightly different moveset, you know? A couple of different attacks, that's all it was. Nothing crazy. Yeah, and like they're gonna have the Erdtree avatar in the game, and the Erdtree avatar is pretty much just like the Asylum Demon. It's like a reskin of the Asylum Demon. It's not a challenging boss.
Same run twice. And this is still even only just a slice of the content that we're able to show you here at PAX. There's going to be many more Nightlords, many further Nightfarers that you're going to be able to play on day 1 when the game drops on the 30th.
Absolutely.
Many more. 8.
I've actually never seen this comp before, so this is kind of a treat for you guys, the Guardian Double Wilder. Don't know exactly
why one of them play a different character. It's fine.
How it works for boss fights either, so it's going to be really fun.
A troll.
Okay.
Is this the Madness troll? The ones that have the hood or the cloak? I don't know. Or the Madness eyes of it was.
Flame troll.
Frenzied Flame Troll, I was correct. I know my Elden Ring.
Nice Guardian ult again. A little bit of damage. He's mad though. Second ult coming in from our back champ. That's what I'm talking about. Get him on his belly, give him a little bit of massage, and
So this happens in day 2. Like the bosses just get destroyed because like they're not really scaled.
he is going to bed.
It's like day 1 is like, okay, just grab all the healing flasks, go kill the easy bosses, and then day 2 you do like just the harder shit. Is this live? No. This happened like a few days ago. But like this wasn't like a live stream. This is like just an in-person event, but someone recorded it, thankfully.
Our Guardian now getting leveled up, getting some more damage negation.
Improved affinity damage negation. Can't go wrong with that.
Definitely fits the tanking playstyle.
Look at Arc Thrones, for instance. I saw 2 Demon Souls bosses, and they were stronger than Dark Souls 3 bosses. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Arc Thrones had like so many fucking... Yeah. What a shame. I mean, I'm glad that every single final boss and every single Nightlord boss is original. But like, you know, most of the playtime is going to be spent in the first 2 days where you're fighting the same enemies that you normally fight. And some of them are just annoying. Like the flame chariots that we fought. Fighting fucking gargoyles and stuff. And ulcerated tree spirits and revenants and demi-human queens and stuff. I was like, come on now.
You can see that spectral Erd tree in the sky.
I at least expected like 3 different maps and stuff. You know, that was not going to happen. I think as soon as like they first like announced the game, and as pretty much they said that it was going to take place in Limveld and stuff, that was pretty much like confirmed. That was just going to be the one map, just ever changing. Ornstein and Smo would be so peak in this game? Probably. So many bosses, I don't know. They still have to like add it into the game and have it like, you know, fit it in and like design it again graphically speaking and stuff. But I don't know, you still have them as assets there. You can implement them. Fading Decoy, thank you for the follow. Because I'm pretty sure we saw Capra Demon, not Capra Demon, the Gaping Dragon. We saw the Gaping Dragon in some gameplay at some point. I think it was like late gameplay, whatever. It's like Centipede Demon and Gaping Dragon are the bosses confirmed from Dark Souls 1. Which to be fair, like Dark Souls 1 doesn't have like the most amazing boss roster. But like, you know. Of all the bosses, Centipede Demon and Gaping Dragon.
The final location. I want to see...
Reduced skill FP cost. And it has Lion's Claw.
Our runners grab as much as they can before coming to that zone. Time is of the essence, though. You can't spend too long. Maybe just a few more of these Royal Knights.
Dancer is confirmed?
Nice
Yeah, Dancer.
opportunity to farm some souls. We got to be careful.
I mean, really just picking apart all of these Knights in like a matter of seconds. Their damage right now kind of insane. Their reach on these weapons crazy too. The team working in tandem. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Stretching across the horizon, man, it looks so cool. It's gonna start wrapping over behind them as well, and suddenly we're kind of, before it was a very open field. Now
Wish the days are longer. I'm fine with the days being like this. I kind of wish there would be like an endless mode. So it's not just like 3 days. Like hopefully there's like a mode where you can just go as far as you want and maybe get like more rewards and it keeps getting more challenging and stuff. They might implement something like that as well. But I don't know, having a 45-minute game session is pretty... 40 to 45-minute game session. It's pretty fine. It'd be pretty like annoying getting gameplay though. Be like, I want to go try and test out this one particular ability and then just hope to God that you get it and then be like, okay, if I don't get it, I gotta do my whole 45 minutes again. Because beforehand, if I'm just getting gameplay for something for like a video or whatnot, I just go fight like a few bosses, 10 minutes, we're done.
kind of a divot with a
It's
cliff
kind of hard to get gameplay for something like this, but we'll see.
on the left. If this boss kind of pushes them out, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Got to make sure they're not going to be in the worst spot when it comes to taking this one down.
Clearing these undeads is going to be important. In order to spawn the boss, you got to clear all these ads. Usually these
Do you worry that this game won't be sustainable long-term? Well, it's not going to be sustainable long-term because it's not a live service game. But like, it would still, I mean, I think the long-term aspect will be reliant on its solo play. Because like, once it gets like later in the game, you'll be less player base, less chances of actually finding people to play with, so. But it's not going to be a live service game, so it's not going to be updated for long. So I feel like they're going to support this game. It'll probably be like relevant for about a year. Then like Duskbloods will probably come out. Then they'll probably focus on that. Or maybe there's different teams. And then like year after that, probably their next game. So we'll see. Like it's not going to like take away from like, you know, regular Elden Ring and the other Souls games. Like people are still going to play those as well. Who knows? But for most people, it might just like come and go, you know? It probably like one of those things that you play it for like a month and that's it and just drop it. And then you might pick it up again for the DLC. But it just depends on how fun it is and how much stuff that there is to do. And how many like different types of like challenge runs you can try and do or whatever. No unique areas outside of the Nightlords. Yeah, I mean, like the Nightlords have like, I'm not too mad about that because I like having a big boss room that's like massive, wide, open, relatively flat ground as well. And the arena does like look pretty decent and cool. At least I actually did change it to where like the skyboxes and like the ground and have the different colors and stuff, I guess. Is convergence any good? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Too much of a problem for a properly leveled run, but at the same time, you don't want to waste a single heal, a single consumable. We've seen runs end from overconfidence here on night 2 in particular. Even strong runs as good as this, so the runners got to stay focused, stay locked in here is key.
Sick at guard count.
Nice. Trending with the other players, looking at their damage as well. Guardian really looking like a part of the team now. The Wilders, perspective of Mitch right now. This is the Mitch Wilder. He's looking insane.
So day 2 boss. Oh, it's a Deathbird. Oh, wow. Revenant day 1 boss and then Deathbird day 2 boss. Isn't that so cool?
First of all, it's the Death Right Bird that we'll tune in with as night boss number 2.
They're trying to take the aggression straight to him. Some of the holy strikes. This boss, the undead's particularly vulnerable to holy damage. This is an intelligent build here coming out from Ouroboros.
I don't have a holy build. One has using the Silurias, one's using Golden Halberd, right? And Coated Sword.
Different tools to deal with the different foes that he faces in the run.
Gonna go for that damage once again. Wow. Staggered up, hit him in the face. Let's keep it going.
Massive damage, but the Deathright Bird flies back, goes for a massive arena-wide AoE.
That seems like a lot bigger than normal, right? I don't know. Normally I run into it, so I don't really know.
Clean dodges from
That seems a bit more spears than normal.
everyone, though. Stabilizing for the moment.
Who's starting this boss roster? I don't know, but I've got to speak to them. I mean, I let them know, like, stop giving us shit bosses, and they kind of doubled down and giving us the Revenant and Deathbird. They're doubling down.
Linstone swords or Linstone swords.
I think they're focusing on making it more challenging than anything else, I guess. It's like, no, we cannot have it easy. Have them steamroll the game. They can still make it challenging and have the bosses be fun, I guess. I don't know. It's just one run. I mean, I've played the game a bunch of different runs, and I've seen some gameplay. We haven't seen any cool bosses yet.
Team kind of surrounds the bird once again. Now this bird so agile, able to go back, forth, do its specking motions.
I mean, the thing is, the fact that this boss is even in the game isn't like the fact that this is even an option. Ain't nobody want to fight a Deathright Bird and a Revenant.
As well, but he's really tuned to try to deal with all 3 members at the same time. They do a good job at staying behind its back. Always have one person just trying to go for the
Can't dodge that one,
for
you
it.
gotta outspace it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, one man down. The Guardian will be there to save you every time.
Guardian, such a powerful night fair when it comes to resurrecting your teammates, keeping them in the fight, and block even some of these very powerful strikes from the boss.
Why does like Ouroboros have like a red dot in him?
Just shielding those with clean timing on the blocks. Got to worry about that depth status though. As that builds up, it would be an instant kill. Once again, another stagger. Opportunity for our opponents. The team is just wailing on the Deathright Bird.
Yeah!
Send this bird back to his match. Just 2 more hits here. On the bird, 1 more. Final
yes! Everyone clap. That's who holds aggro? That's cool. How did that happen then? How did he get aggro? I get aggro. Creates a glint blade. That's periodic giant's glint blade. Okay. 30%. That's +1 Crimson Seed talisman. Improved affinity attack power. Go with the flask every time.
That's what I'm talking about. Back east. Incredible stuff here.
Yeah.
They have some very powerful final choices to make. And then it's onward, teleporting to that final arena where they will be facing off against the Nightlord. They're going to have one last chance to shop, to
They're fighting
decide
Libra, right? Is that what it was? Yeah, Libra.
what they want to buy with these runes. Is it one last level up? Is it some key consumables? This is also a great moment for you guys if you want to grab a picture, a video, this final.
Same stuff that was in the network test. Pretty much the same rewards. Let's get the boiled crabs. The warming stones are actually kind of clutch. I was buying like the warming stones every single time just to heal allies that ran out of HP. But yeah, that and the boiled crabs.
Walk up to the boss, and remember, no one outside of PAX East has seen this boss. It's exclusive for you guys here.
It was a relic skill, I guess, I was taking aggro, but the relics are things that you implement before the run actually starts, and that was just recent. So it must have been like a passive ability that he picked up halfway. Use the Starlight Shards on playing Recluse. Yeah, the Starlight Shards give you like so much more FP regen now. It's cool how the Nightlord you choose at the start changes the boss pool. I would have just liked for the whole thing to be randomized, like, like every single one just be massive, just giant randomized. But I guess I don't know. So maybe when you go to like the Libra, it's like it's more. So maybe like the network test that we played, that was probably confirms all those enemies and that stuff that we fought was just going to be for the first day. It's like the first Nightlord boss with that dog boss probably has a mixture of like things like Morgott, Draconic Tree Sentinel, what was it? The Demi-Human Queen and Centipede Demon. So it's probably like those four, and it could be a mixture of those four. And it's probably like 4 for every single day. Have you only seen 2 Nightlords? Well, like in terms of like boss gameplay, like full from start to finish, yeah, pretty much. It's been like the Libra boss and the dog in the network test. Like we've seen what other ones look like and stuff, but we haven't seen like actual like gameplay. It's like 10 for every day. Okay.
So it's definitely some great content to grab, and it's a beautiful cinematic.
I'm not sure if that's better or worse than just having everything just be like dramatically randomized. It's like having a massive pool. But I don't know, if you're having every single one be different, I don't know. It makes it more controlled, I guess. I don't know. Because you can actually probably balance the difficulty that way. Alvin, thank you for the follow. We'll see how it goes when you get the game.
The approach.
I mean, if this fucking Libra boss has more of a chance of getting Revenant and Death Right Bird. Fuck that shit.
It's that from
avoiding that one.
Cinema. Look at that. I mean, not the UI, but look at that.
It is a cool skybox. It is a pretty fucking cool skybox. Kind of looks like a Destiny skybox.
Look at that. It's crazy.
Very spacey.
We're gonna better look at this.
I like Armored Core as well, kind of.
Second, past these white doors is gonna be that Nightlord.
The Nightlord. Yeah, open the door. Longest door opening animation. Jeez. Make your choice. Oh, you can hit it beforehand? Nice. I wish to have deep faith, resistance to ailments. I want to hold death at bay or refuse to make a deal. Hopefully they'll make a deal.
So this boss has a unique mechanic. One last opportunity to make a deal or no deal.
I mean, the obvious option would to be keep death at bay, right? So you can actually get an extra life. Boosted status effect resistances. I mean, it's not. It says raises your resistances. It doesn't say like making you immune. Like it'd make much more sense if it made you immune to statuses. Sure. Or they can all individually pick one. Hopefully they all select one.
With Libra, each buff comes with a
No,
compensatory
pick something. I want to see what the boss does.
debuff.
There you go.
Sometimes worth it, sometimes not. You get to decide. Could be risky. You could buff the boss
Weak.
up. You could hurt yourself in one way to benefit you.
They're all selecting no. I'm so mad.
Another. We've seen different players make different decisions, really just fitting within the theme of the game. But now the Libra fight begins. PAX.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. In front of a crowd, you got to pick something.
You're gonna need your energy for this one. A very challenging fight.
Golden Bow.
15% win rate right now. Let's hear it for the team. Do you think they can beat Libra?
Oh, damn, the bleed coming already.
Creature of night, every single spell laced with madness. The goat himself has a staff that hits hard and fast
adjusted
as
him.
well. The ultimate staggering him slightly, but it's not going to be enough. They have to keep sifting through these sands and making sure they land every single hit together in tandem. Here comes more sigils coming in. I'm
cooked.
telling you, a punishing fight sometimes ending at the very start. They get their teammate back up and
the
stagger the
riposte.
loss at the same time. Now, if Mitch ends up winning this fight as well, no pressure because they're doing well. You walk away with a I defeated the Nightlord t-shirt. So let's hear it for Mitch. Sure, that's barely been given out, no pressure. Lock it back in over with Team Bandai. That Guardian still has the ult, still has a whirlwind. Right now, sigils pop up. We have to break these sigils or the boss gets mega buff. And we
So there's a skybox change.
instantly break the sigils. The team doing so well with these mechanics.
Libra, though, is enraged by that development. He's going to attack explosively with these melee hits. Still need to be clean with the dodges.
Now, Libra's got an enrage right now. Like, if Karen did not get the discount at Trader Joe's, she gets denied. And she is just getting so mad with the rivers of madness. But look at the position for the team. Everyone behind Libra. So he says, let's make it rain. Not going to pour, though. I think Guardian had an umbrella, went straight back into it. No chances right now for anyone really taking really big hits. Gotta be careful with these sigils, though. Staying spread out is a very good strategy.
Our runners staying patient, continuing to put that damage in over
So I
time,
think these things like turn into like AoEs and stuff. That's why you pick them up early.
making sure that they do not get ready to enrage. Another posture.
Oh, the post as well. Slapping the boss, the Nightlord, in the face.
Yeah.
Still trying to fight this one out,
Get
though.
him.
Libra, the spellcasting is devious. You've got to be so cautious. Big madness proc. Guardian goes
The
down.
Cure Frenzy? Oh, okay.
Oh, now he gets one knock, makes you choose. Do you go for the sigils? Do you go for the res? The team does not even see that one person's knocked down. They're going straight for the
That's what they
sigils.
do.
Spell casting on one of them.
Damn. Rain of arrows.
Not sure if that's the way, but it's all good. We'll lock back in. One more sigil needed. Can we aim for it? No! Missed at the very end, so now Libra buffed. Spell attacks faster, more ferocious. Poise up, defense up.
Damn.
What else? Spells turn in 360 degrees. His teleport, instant damage and faster. This is what...
It's like, oh, you missed a sigil? Everything buffed times 10.
He's considered a Nightlord.
Start again.
This is where so many runs have failed with Libra in the spellcasting buff state. Still the team trying to stay aggressive, trying to challenge him.
Signaling him on damage as well. He's just going to have to wait out this entire wave of madness. How do you even dodge it? Wow! Our fan Mitch does it perfectly! Locking him down to about half HP. This is where he starts to get a bit crazier as well. His stacks getting even faster in that second phase. Look at this! How are we dodging this again?
The power of
So clean for
spam
Mitch
dodge, it
right
always
now.
works.
Everyone now continuing on the aggression, trying to survive this madness phase. You got to grab these pips off the ground.
Oh,
The madness proc.
Everyone also
Got health
trying
again.
another
Oh, he's cooked.
madness proc.
Ball goes down. They need a resin. Get it back into the fight.
Oh, he's 1
Guardian trying to-
HP.
Libra has other ideas.
Be greedy, it works every time.
Hit again, gotta be careful. The cost of a res about an entire HP bar, but we have some.
He's got 3 flasks
to keep it
left,
up.
he's fine.
Half the resources gone, but half of Libra's HP. Whose side are you on? Let's hear it for the team.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for Libra. Silence. Very nice.
Another posture break. Once again, they've been so aggressive against this boss. It's really paying dividends.
Oh my God. Haven't really seen this boss beat too much again. Have to go for these sigils. Can this team do it? Doesn't matter. Oh, Libra. Forget about your minigame. Oh, but it's you in the face.
He's gonna use the ult now, right? Yeah. He was like saving the ult for when like Ouroboros went down. Or someone went down. Unfortunately, you get the boss too. Little damage makes me sad. Yeah, that's what these bosses are gonna be like. It's just gonna be just keep spamming. This is like fucking raid boss type shit.
Mitch trying to stay aggressive, still keeping the fight. But this is an enraged Libra. One strike.
That's a big AoE. That's a horrible AoE.
So close. No flasks left now.
Warming stone time. Oh, he's won.
Not letting him have him free. 1 HP for Mitch here. Gotta be careful.
No helling.
He just put down a little bit of an area of healing. Libra can teleport at
Warming
any
stone
moment
time.
and change a target.
He's
He
literally his
has
ult.
to be careful here. He's gonna watch.
He has no FP
Try to
either.
heal up in the warming stone. Let other players take the aggression for the moment.
Sigil time.
They don't have any ultis for this though.
Uh-oh, they're gonna try to just break it with their... Whoa!
Hit him with the ult.
Down to 20%. Let's see if we can do it. Back over to Mitch.
Come on, Mitch.
Outspace those.
Holding it down, trying to
Oh,
dominate.
he's dead
Oh
again.
my God.
It's like the more that you die, the more it takes actually. He's died like 4 times now.
Falls down, but the boss is low.
3 stamina bars worth of damage. Mitch is going to go for the revive. Maybe it's better to go straight for the boss. We may never know. Meanwhile,
He's
the
like
boss
blocking and tanking the entire
kind of
time.
making
What a G. Keeping aggro.
a fool
The
out
Guardian's
of
doing a job.
us.
Oh, the other guy went down now. He wasn't paying attention. The AoE hit him.
Time. Nice dodges. Going down.
He has to clutch.
Swift dodges over and over. Has a flash.
I mean, if he gets his AoE, he almost has his like ult. If he gets his ult, that'll be so
To
clutch.
be able to use as well. Have to wait for the ultimate. The ultimate could revive everyone right now.
This guy hit the boss.
Gotta be
Ooh.
careful. Low HP. Flash.
There's 2
to
kills.
max HP.
He has an ult. Just hit him one time and get the ult.
And we're waiting for it once again. Libra, low, going for one of the reses. He got him up. Ooh, hit again.
There goes the ult now. Wait, did that boss just iframe dodge that attack? No way. Did you see? The boss does iframe dodge that shit. That's crazy. That was actually gonna be such a hype play as well. The boss is like, hell no. That's aura? Damn. He just that was like such perfect timing as well. That's crazy. He like locked in that iframe dodge like way beforehand and just timed it perfectly. 2 damage. Get the sigils.
One last proc of the sigils. Can they break them in time?
There's
I can
so
just run
many in
into
the
them.
sky right now. Someone has to be able to shoot him. Here's Mitch going for it, trying. The arrows are ready to reach him
Aim!
right now. Back
Why
over
did you
to
lock
Libra.
in?
He gets buffed while he's at
Why is he
such low
free
aim.
aiming? Doesn't there like a... Was he aiming? I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if he was aiming. There's eyes in the horns? I don't know, maybe.
Speed. Can this team do it? They're gonna fight through the buff. Look at how fast these spells are now in stage 2. Oh my God! Getting hit by Madness. Libra teleporting again, going for another wave. Goes for a swing. Miss.
See, this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. Like, if you're gonna play this game solo, like the game's very much designed around multiplayer.
Twice, 3 times, a big dodge. So right next to him, the entire team looking for a chance to strike. There it is. Libra down to 5. Libra down to 4. Down to 3. Oh, gets 1. Now left at 2. Nice swift dodge into another sigil. Back
But this Guardian's doing a great job at tanking, honestly. Doing his job.
away. So looking for it. Libra down to 1.
Ongbal can do it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, the solo play, I'm pretty sure is going to be meant for, like, the top 1%. That's what I guess I wanted that impression. Might be, like, some types of plays. If you can manage to, like, get a bunch of runs in, get, like, some really good relics, and maybe, like, for certain particular night bosses are probably better for solo play, and certain characters it might be better. It depends on how, like, abundant that revivability can be as well. Because, like, if you don't get that revivability, you die once in solo play. That's it.
Swift steps on all sides.
They're so incredibly low. Guardian doesn't have
Big
to
hits.
He has 1
He's
kill
got to
left.
be cautious here. Even with Libra low, he's incredibly dangerous. We have seen runs fall at the final hurdle.
1%, 1%. Looking for the res here for Mitch real quick.
Got the res. Someone's got the ult. Surely someone has an ult. They can win.
Go for the runes. Finding every single rune. No one going for Madness at all. This
Oh, it's like a madness thing in the sky, and it does like passive every time, so you have to go try and find them. That's actually a pretty cool mechanic. Makes it engaging. Ouroboros went down again.
1 down. It's up to Mitch now. Can he get that last hit in? Going for some of the sword procs maybe. They all hit. 0.5% Libra. Almost there. About to go
Just
down,
get him.
Mitch.
Hit him. He did it. Whoa.
Waiting for his chance. Now he strikes and he is victorious. Congrats, Pax East. What a cinematic masterpiece. And that was just one Nightlord. Just one little piece.
45-minute run. I forgot to use the Wilder grapple. I mean, I think he was like scared to run in there because he was like half health and he was gonna get one shot and he has no heals left. So I was like, just play it safe. Just try and keep the aggro, I guess, and run away. GG though. Let's go watch the Aura video.
Get there by Thursday. That's when the convention. Yo, what is up, Nightreign gamers? I'm finally back. Holy crap, I missed you guys so much. How's it going, everybody? How's the volume of the music? Today, we're just gonna chill and talk about my experience playing
52 minutes.
The final version of the game at PAX. But yeah, we're just gonna play my old footage and chat about the game. Tell me everything. I'm gonna. Man, it was such a good time. First off,
are you streaming right now? Are you streaming in that gameplay?
I got invited out by Bandai Namco
to tried Kazan?
Host their PAX booth.
I played the demo
at freaking PAX East, and I've been gone since what, Wednesday, because I had to get there by Thursday. That's when the convention started. And it's Monday now, and we had the whole weekend. It was Thursday through Saturday, or Sunday, I should say. And my God, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, you know. I commentated, I played the game. We all took turns because there was 5 of us. There was it was me, Distortion 2, Larksa, Lil Aggie, and Parkin Harbor, and we all took turns playing and commentating. And of course there was also professional commentators there that like absolutely like blew it away. Hi Zelda. I have done an AMA on Reddit, on the Nightreign Reddit, if you guys want to check that out. In case they don't answer your question in this stream, you can post it on there and I'll answer it. I'm so jealous. Yeah, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, man. I feel so honored to be invited out by them. And
he's gonna play again. Actually saw there was like another thing going on to where other content creators are gonna play in another event, like a tournament event, like on the 28th, I think it is.
Really strong.
I think the same people that there was in that screenshot there, with him, Aggie, Distortions.
Relationship throughout like
the audio's a little loud compared to your voice. Like I'll turn him down.
Almost a decade. I think it's been more than a decade now. What, since Dark Souls 2? Yep. Officially been a decade. So that's fucking sick. Also, look at that Wilder.
A decade? Isn't Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2014? I mean, Scholar the first sin? Scholar was 2015, but that was later in the year, right? Why are you talking about Dark Souls 2?
But yeah, no, we had an absolute blast. It was a good time.
Yeah, fighting Cowboy and Afro Century, yeah.
Really busy 4-day thing. If you guys didn't see it, we worked in this big ass dome. They really did it up. But Bandai Namco has like infinite money, so every event they have is extra. It's crazy, you know. For the Armored Core one, they sent us to a fucking hangar, like an airplane hangar, and put like a real Armored Core like in there. There was like an actual mech, like a pilotable mech. It was fucking
That's actually crazy.
For this one,
maybe if I become a bigger streamer and if I lived in America, they'd fly me out. Maybe one day. Fumbled not hiring you as a commentator? Maybe.
Of course, they did a massive theater dome.
That's pretty cool.
Right in the center of PAX. I'm gonna bring it up here so you guys can see it. But it was really, really, really fucking cool. The dome I was working in all weekend. I was trapped in there for like all 4 days. It was great though. It was great because it was away from the crowds, right?
And mech, yeah, I think I remember seeing that Armored Core like preview event. And Vadi was there. Actually, no, Vadi wasn't there. Vadi was actually there on FaceTime. We actually saw Vadi for like the first time. Saw what he looked like. Handsome guy. Can you sleep in my shed? I'm fine.
Just chilling there and do my magic. Yeah, the sphere, the Elden Ring
needed you here?
Dome,
Yeah, true.
Dude. The Elden Ring dome.
It smelled like crazy in that tent.
It was super cool. Yeah, it was packed up every single day. This is where I worked, right in the middle here. I played on this computer. They had really, really nice computers with 4070s. We were playing on PC. Ran at a silky smooth.
Okay, if they're playing on 4070s, that's pretty decent. Because like we didn't notice any like hiccups at all, so that's pretty cool. Because we didn't actually get to play the network test on PC. We played it on the PlayStation. We played it on consoles, right? So that's pretty cool. Because I didn't notice any like hiccups or bugs at all, or like performance issues. And they're playing on 4070s, so it's like they're playing like on a 5090 or some shit. Yeah. So that's cool.
60 FPS. I'm not sure if you can boost it up anymore. I didn't check the settings because I'm dumb. But you might be able to. Anyways, it ran really good, way better than normal.
I highly doubt you can make it go more than 60 FPS. Knowing From Software.
Elden Ring, so that's something I want to point out. And then the commentators are over here chatting in the stand, the professional commentators. Of course, we switched out with them too so they could take breaks.
The commentators actually were pretty good. They did seem like professional commentators.
And, you know, survive. Because we were doing it all fucking day. Well, I think we did 8 hours a day, right? I'm trying to think. There had lights that changed depending on what happened. Right when you got to like the end of the run, it would like start glowing and the whole theater would light up. It was fucking crazy, dude.
That's pretty cool. They put down a pretty cool event.
It was really fun. Man,
Tell us your
Namco
thoughts.
team that I got to
Who are these people? All the Elden Ringers. Where is me? There's Aura in the middle.
work with, and of course Aggie and Park and Harbor. Dist and Larksa had to leave early.
I was need Dist here. I was like, where's Dist?
But they were there, I promise. King Nerd in the center. Yep, they put me in the center because I'm the most important. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
Maybe one day, chat, I'll be in a photo like this. Maybe towards the end, but we'll be there.
You might be wondering, how did I get myself in this situation? Well, I played too much video games. Yeah, really cool. Really cool stuff. All right, back to the gameplay so I can... But actually, I'm going to actually start chatting about my experience now.
Finally.
I wanted to sort of give you a picture of the event, right? And what we were doing. Dude, it's two different skills I quickly realized after
Need to put yourself out there more? I'm not a slut. That's fine. I mean, with like Nightreign, it's going to be more of a co-op game, so I'll probably have more opportunities to actually like network and stuff, so we'll see.
And I was really bad when I had to, but yeah, I tried my best. I really hope no one reported that one.
I mean, I have contact with like some of the Bandai Namco employees and stuff. Like I'm not that big to where they'd fly me out from Australia all the way to like fucking, where does this take place? New York or some shit? I don't know, for somewhere.
And speaking of recording, you are allowed to record the footage at PAX. You were allowed to record the footage at PAX. So a lot of people got out their phones, put some screenshots up, bunch of videos. So you might be able to find those.
Have I been doing this that long? Yeah, I'm not that big compared to like some of these other guys. Like Aura Pro has like what 300k fucking subs. Yeah, 300k. Just hit 300k. Damn. But yeah, I've been watching Ouroboros and like, you know, Peeve and stuff like that back in the days, like fucking 10 years ago. They've been doing this for a minute.
YouTube or I don't know, wherever the fuck people are posting those. Could be anywhere.
Do a segment on the Sydney Morning
the boss
News.
Kicked our ass. Even the best players in the world. The best PV.
Best affinity for the Golem Fist? Honestly, bleed kind of pops off because you do so much bleed build up on those heavy attacks. And you still get decent damage.
Ears in the world were getting their ass beat for a bit. Of course, they did beat them pretty quickly. And I followed suit.
I'm not going to start covering Palestine
yeah,
news
no,
now.
Shit's hard. Which I really enjoy. There's
yeah, bleed even with the projectile, yeah. And the thing is, the Golem Fist do a bonus damage at point blank because you have the weapon hitbox and at point blank range. If you get a point blank Golem Fist heavy attack, it does like ridiculous damage and stupidly large amounts of bleed build up. Unfortunate part is the stamina cost. It costs like twice as much stamina as like every other fist weapon. So you have to have like lots of endurance, but yeah, bleed kind of goes hard. But even going like regular strength is still really good. I mean, either way, it's still the same build. You just go all into strength for both bleed and heavy.
In this game. Especially if you don't get some good weapons for your run, which is entirely possible in this game. Sometimes RNG just fucks you.
I mean, even then, like, I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal because like all the Elden Ring weapons, they're all like very similar. Like the reason why some of the weapons in the game are just dog shit is because they just do like less damage than a version that you can get earlier in the game, let's say, right? Like if you picked up the Cane Sword, let's say, and it came with a good skill and a good passive ability, it's still going to be a good weapon, despite it getting like this less damage than another straight sword, right? So I'm not too worried about like the getting shit RNG with weapons. It's more about like the perks, like what perks that you're going to get, and if you have anything that synergizes with the builds. So I think the weapons are going to be fine no matter what. And you're more likely than not, you end up finding a weapon that gets bleed. And if you get any weapon with a blade, you're going to be okay. It's just a matter of whether or not you end up fighting stuff like good damage negation. Good, I think survivability is going to be the biggest one. And I feel like there's so many perks in the game that you'll probably end up finding at least a couple. Show some recluse gameplay. Someone who knows to actually use her. I have some recluse gameplay out there.
Yeah. Really cool. There's a bunch of videos. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. But it was so much fun. It really was great working with Bandai Namco and of course all my friends. Libra clear is true. Yes. Us as so here's how the event worked, right? We were chilling in the dome.
I'll go to the Nightreign subreddit.
We were chilling in the dome, and it was one Bandai Namco professional, right? One of the best players at Bandai Namco, and they were really good. I promise you, they were exceptional players. And then we had one of us, the influencer lord, you know. And then
so we're gonna just like read Ouroboros AMA. Just can skip this entire 50-minute video and let's go read his AMA. Even fighting the same Nightlord over and over, there was so much variety, more variety in the network test. I've been told that the late game Nightlords have even more variety, so we'll wait and see. That's going to be another major copium, because if every single like Nightlord boss had its own set of boss pool, maybe the later ones, they're gatekeeping all the fun bosses behind those, and maybe all the fun Dark Souls bosses and stuff. Maybe we end up seeing all the cool shit there, copium. Is there a hierarchy to them? Yes, there is hierarchy. Unfortunately, not in the base game, but I'm assuming they'll be included in the DLC. No Milady? Yeah, I didn't think there's going to be anything like that. Dancing Line would be a banger boss. Ugh. Each line has different pools of bosses that can randomly appear in each day, so you see even more variety than we get for others. For this event, we mostly fought Libra. I heard there was a tutorial boss at the Japanese demo. We didn't experience that because we played the pre-existing saves ready to fight Libra for the event. Huh. A demo, huh? Unfortunately, no executor ability. I heard that someone played with the executor when they weren't allowed to. And they said that like the ultimate ability was, or the deflecting was part of the ult. That's what I heard. Lots of extra polish and improved variety. They definitely cooked. You get instant iframes and stab into the ground, summoning the totem that does massive damage and stagger to anything within range. It seems like it was in a fixed duration, maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Raiders hammer moveset is fun, but many of the other streamers who were really invited ended up hating how slow and telegraphed the R2s were compared to base Elden Ring. Yeah, that's one thing, because it's a great hammer moveset. I thought it was a colossal weapon. The unique moveset that the Raider gets I thought it was for the colossal weapons. But yeah, no. It's a great hammer moveset, and it's like so much slower as well. And like the great hammer movesets in base game Elden Ring are actually pretty fast. So it's like nerfs. It's like a worse version of the moveset. How many tries did pre-patch Radahn take you? It took me like 3 hours. I was using like the beast claws. You can go actually check out my run. My first playthrough of the Shadow of the Erdtree. It's out there somewhere. You can just go type in first playthrough Shadow of the Erdtree, or finishing Shadow of the Erdtree playthrough. You can go to my live section and scroll through. You'll see it there somewhere. Is it possible to use a totem to lift downed teammates up? Yes, did that in one of my sessions. If it does damage, you'll be able to revive. Not sure about the first two. Libra is way harder than Gladius, and it's not even close. It had about 20% win rate on him. Each run, we had to map our routes differently, usually focusing around just getting all 3 extra flasks from the churches, killing everything we could along the way. Start out with faith spells that heal your team. There might be a relic for this. Who knows, we'll see. But it'd be pretty interesting. I mean, I feel like there might be ends up something with terms of character progression to where you actually can change up your starting equipment. There could be something for that outside of just the relics. Who knows? Returning Soul Series bosses. We didn't have anything too new besides Omega Godskin Duo. You'll see. Omega Godskin Duo? What? The fuck? You understand when you find Omega Godskin Duo? That's what I'm talking about, chat. If that's part of like the Libra shit, fuck that. The Libra boss pool is not looking that crash hot, honestly. It's gotta be a video somewhere. Yeah. Omega Godskin Duo. Revenant and a Deathrite bird. Did the time to explore versus time to hustle at the end of area feel difference? The time was the same. The storm does not feel about double damage in the final game. Does about double damage in the final game, effectively killing the strat of stacking health regen and running from grace to grace, clearing out the whole map before the Nightlord. Any Nightreign exclusive weapons? Each class has a weapon. Cool. How was solo looking? Didn't actually try the solo for this event. Only trios. Told us a final version of the game. Unfortunately, we only got to show off the new Nightlord Libra. Is lore an important aspect? It is a core aspect of the game, and I definitely put some thought into it. New moves of the Godskin Duo. The fat version is a triple thumping move and shit. Oh, crazy. I'm glad that they did that. Actually, it probably would have been funny if they made like a Godskin trio instead. Did like the meme said, but... interesting relics that unfortunately I can't talk about, but I promise they'll be very cool. You can't change the fixed spell and casting tools, at least to my knowledge. 4070 ran flawlessly, no lag, hiccups whatsoever. I was impressed with the performance, especially compared to base Elden Ring. They learned their lesson. How many biomes are there? Played a lot of the raiders, absolutely insane. Takes 0 damage when you use either ability, and each of them do insane damage and stagger. I found that the pillar itself is pretty useful. Bows are super buffed from Elden Ring, much smoother, faster recovery. Also completely revamped free aiming to help a lot. Well, that's probably why he wasn't aiming into aim with those sigils. So like the free aiming is actually pretty decent. Okay, cool. I still felt like compared to melee, incredibly safe and steady damage. I think the keys to make them stronger will be status effects. Played a lot of Iron Eyes, super fun and a bit squishy. Markability has tons of mobility and iframes to help a decent bit. Ultimate is actually insane. Truck hitbox can clear giant camps in one shot. Extra loot passive is completely OP. Extra loot passive. Seems like you want to have at least like one fucking Iron Eye and a Duchess in your team, and who else is really good? We need some Doom gameplay. Yeah, I actually have Doom bought, but I bought it with my new PC, and I don't know when my new PC is coming in yet. But I'm going to play Doom eventually. Hopefully it comes in before Nightreign, my PC. But I hope you're doing well, Arrows. I liked both the new classes, but Wild has a special place. They didn't get to see the eruption of the Rotten Forest. Best to worst. Duchess, Wilder, Raider, Guardian, Iron Eye, Recluse. He didn't get to play with the Recluse with the... didn't get to play the Recluse with the Terra Magica relic. Watch the Paragod come alive. But yeah, I've seen some gameplay of Doom. It looks really cool, especially with like the whole like the shield throwing shit and deflecting the weapons off the shield or the bullets. It looks pretty cool. We'll play it. No, I didn't want to click on that guy's username. No, I didn't want to do that. No, go back. Founds Libra extremely weak to bleed. What else is new? Potent bleed buff and founds bad white or blue bleed weapon. Deal damage the entire run. Got insanely powerful weapons like the Moog Spear that ended up completely destroying him. Sounds about right. Masterus, thank you for the follow. See, the thing is, if it's going to be day 1 patch, that means we're going to get pre-nerf weapons too. So, like, even though we're not going to get the faster movesets, we're going to get some pre-nerf versions of things like, you know, Blasphemous Blade and Moog's Sacred Spear. 2 weeks, you're cooked? Yeah, probably. I just beat Nightmare and it's great. I don't like the mech drag and stuff, but I'd much rather fuck shit up. But outside of that, 10 out of 10. Gonna have a new bay. Nice. Yeah, because I like the first Doom games, but I haven't played them in a long time. Why do I keep doing that? Access the shop with the little pot guy. You can buy specific relics, different colored relic slots, and gestures. Also, Gamba for the relics. Something picked up very quickly, especially after switching from Gladius to Libra. Different bosses appearing made it immediately obvious. So yeah, different boss pools. Okay. Favorite was a Darkness Wilder. He gets a cool helmet and sick cape. Did not complete any quests. The Spectral Hawks feel useful. The Hawks are the same. He answered about the thingy. And the terrain reconfigurations. Anything regarding duo playthroughs? No duo playthroughs. Lots of new relics with even crazier effects. It's going to change the way that you play. Can you tell us about the Revenant? Nope. Still going to run squads and Nightreign? I'm going to do everything Nightreign, yeah. Squads, whatever, fucking solo. If there's duos, we're going to do duos as well. Play with other content creators, play with the viewers. Anything. The Godskin duo videos from the Game Tyrant channel. Okay. Game Tyrant. Godskin duo. I don't know. Nightreign. Aha.
Yeah, Raider needs to step it up. Big stats here in the team fight. Could be critical when it comes to taking on this Night 2 boss who, believe me, you've gotten a lot stronger, so is the boss. The Nightreign doesn't come easy. And as the circle closes, we're going to see the problem. This base should be
Flaming Strike and the Rusted Anchor based.
However, right ahead of them.
Just one of them right now.
I can't help but feel the apostle nearby.
Oh, he's summoning. Oh, shit.
They got the damage buff from this Coda, though. It's helping them pump some of that challenge in. Trying to damage into this boss. You can see he's tanky, man. Even with all 3 of them putting damage in, putting pressure on. Nice backstab. Big stagger.
Down is something that big damage coming down and everyone.
Oh shit.
Here's the bouncing.
He's gonna do it again. And again. Oh, what the f- That's so stupid. Oh, he's gonna explode again? Oh shit.
It's all good. Just 78 damage on one of them though, so gotta keep things up. The battlefield too, flames everywhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot to worry about. Max, give him your energy. This is a tough boss.
Yeah.
Big strike again. Noble still barely taking damage. Needs some help here. Smash
Damn.
again. Theodore gets hit a little bit.
They should feel lucky he's not doing the roll, man. Let's be honest. That thing is ridiculous.
That's probably why they probably did this to get rid of the roll, because the roll is probably going to be like imbalanced without the pillars. Because without the pillars, it's completely shit. So they probably just reworked it to make it without the rolling shit, which makes a lot more sense.
The Apostle. Remember, there's 2 bosses to fight. They're splitting the aggro a little bit here. Noble starting to get low though, so the focus fire. Hey, they can get this down to a 3-on-1. It really does improve their odds.
unfortunately, out of flasks here on what seems to be Anthony. So this is going to be his last stand. That's quite perfect here. Or go down. Trying to go for that backside again. Not going to really find it this time. Buffing yourself. So every single.
Oh, they skipped it. Them sluts. Ready to sing Libra. It's fine. Okay. Wilds of Hair, sure. Although I'm super excited to see Executed when they show him. Played a lot of Iron Eye, super fun, albeit squishy. Yep. Okay. Seems like he's answering the same questions. Okay. Cool. Well, that's that. That is that. Is there anything else that I wanted to go check out? Is there any other videos? I don't think so. So probably end up seeing. Actually, it was like there was an interview, right? It was like the IGN interview. There's gonna be a bunch more IGN videos, interviews dropping later on, and some boss gameplay from previous Dark Souls games. That they're gonna drop throughout the week. So. I don't think I've watched this Remembrances Explained thing. I didn't actually watch this one. Hold up. Why does my computer gotta be so slow? This quality is dog shit. No. Please stop being so slow.
Elden Ring is a game steeped with lore. Story details are everywhere, from traditional cutscenes, environmental details, conversations with NPCs, and, yes, the FromSoft classic, even buried within item descriptions. But Elden Ring Nightreign is a very different type of FromSoft game. It's an online-driven co-op PvE game with roguelite elements. That makes it a bit difficult to deliver the usual kind of FromSoft narrative. So, how is the story in Nightreign conveyed? Well, let's talk a little bit about Remembrances.
Okay, let's talk about them.
So, to start, let's break down what the story of Nightreign even is. And who better to break that down than game director Junya Ishizaki. Nightreign shares essentially the base setting and the world of Elden Ring, but it's played out on a different stage, so to speak. So there's this concept called the Nightlord, which is a sort of abstract phenomenon or calamity that has befallen the lands between in this alternate timeline, and much like a real-life calamity, it's something that's not done by design or intention. It's just something that has occurred naturally, and it's befallen the lands between, and it needed some sort of opposition. It needs something to oppose it, and that opposition comes in the form of the Nightfarers, who are these warriors who are entrusted with the fate of opposing and defeating the Nightlord and putting a stop to this terrible calamity. And that's
the graphics of the Nightreign looks a lot better than the base game.
setup that brings together our
definitely an
different
upgrade, slight
character
upgrade, but it's an
classes
upgrade
gathered from
nevertheless.
all across Elden Ring's world.
Welcome to one.
Nightreign's story is more about filling in the details of who these 8 characters are, and what was their past before having this responsibility thrust upon them to defeat the Nightlords. And to learn that, we have the Remembrances. One of the stops that the player can make in the roundtable hold in between matches of Nightreign is a journal where you can view your character's remembrances. Some of these are just journal entries that reveal a little bit of information about
Can't go wrong with the journal.
that character's backstory. However, some of them are playable snippets of a moment from the character's past. When you launch into a playable remembrance, there will be a hazy dreamlike border around the screen, and you will be transported to the location of the memory. After talking with an NPC
Is this like the Dark Souls 3 Firekeeper?
within a remembrance, you'll gain a personal objective. These will differ from character to character and remembrance to remembrance. For some, like the Iron Eye for example, your personal objective might be to launch into a match, travel to a specific marked location, and then defeat a mini-boss that will only appear there if the remembrance objective is active. Once you do, you'll gain an item that you can bring to the flashback, and then you'll be able to move forward in the next chapter of that character's story.
Very much
before, the objectives themselves
FromSoft
vary
quest
between
line.
classes and remembrances. Wilder, for instance, instead of having to fight a boss, might have to find a specific item located in a cavern, which is a location that you might not generally go to due to the risk of being stuck in there when the ring starts to close in. Then there's the Raider, who has a completely different style of remembrance. He gets transported away from the Round Table Hold and must participate in gladiatorial-like one-on-one battles against a variety of bosses.
Hell yeah.
It's an interesting and very unique departure when it comes to storytelling for a FromSoft game. I
Gladiator.
have only gotten a small taste of these individual character storylines, but what I've seen and played through so far has me eager to see more once I get my hands on the full game. For more exclusive Elden Ring Nightreign coverage, don't miss our boss reveal video, as well as our hands-on videos with the Iron Eye and Raider classes. And
Thank you, IGN man. Wasn't there an interview? IGN Nightreign interview. How do I close this shit off? You can't, whatever. Okay. Come up with this idea. As a developer, I had many ideas for what could potentially be in new games during the development of the past titles I've worked on, including Elden Ring. This time I stepped up as a new director. I was given the opportunity to direct this idea for Nightreign. We've always seen as a company that makes these Souls-likes or kind of traditional formula of Souls-like games, and so I saw this as an opportunity to do something different, to challenge both myself and the company to build something new while still using what we've cultivated with our previous titles. Makes sense. I like that. Personally, I enjoy these co-op multiplayer experiences, and I want to make something that was very much focused on that's with Nightreign. Co-op multiplayer experiences. I enjoy whole manner of games, from shooters to board games and MMOs. So basically, we're taking inspiration from a whole range of genres and titles. It'd be a lie to say that there's nothing like that's inspired Nightreign, or that there's some inspiration there. I enjoy these elements of not just Souls games, but other games where you have these challenging elements or speedrun tactics. It's just not applied to speedrunning. It's like that, optimizing the gameplay from the player's perspective, how to best optimize the experience and get the most out of it and clear it in the best way possible or the quickest way possible. I enjoy these elements, and I feel like this is a good opportunity to share my love for that with the players. I'm glad if this is a sort of idea that comes through in Nightreign. Because you can't really speedrun the game, because it's like you have to wait for the... I mean, you can speedrun the final boss maybe, but you still have to wait for the circle to close in. So like speedrunning is not going to really be a thing. Unless they have like a different game mode or whatever. I took the idea to Miyazaki, who gave it the green light. He was a little involved with the initial concept phase of the game, but after that, he gave the full reign to me. No pun intended. Full Nightreign? Ha! Does the lore of Nightreign tie into those stories of Elden Ring or Shadow of the Erdtree, or even possible for an Elden Ring 2 as a completely standalone? We'd like the fans to think of Nightreign as an Elden Ring spin-off first and foremost. The story is completely separate and parallel to the world of Elden Rings. If you had to tie it to some way, we had the events of the Shattering in the original game. After the events of the Shattering, this is a completely separate branch of the Elden Ring story. We understand that there is a great deal of emotional attachments to the story of Elden Ring that there's lots of fans that a lot of fans have, so we didn't want to encroach that too much. Wanted to coexist with the existing story, and for players both familiar and new to enjoy both of the stories separately. I mean, they can still try to, like, you know, fill in the gaps and stuff with just random stories that they have, but I don't know. That George has no influence. That is correct. Nightreign, some from his last multi-platform game. We don't know right now at the moment where the discussion currently is at. It's taking place. We're not privy to it. What the hell? Why'd you ask this question? Last multi-platform game? Thoughts on potential Sony acquisition? As if that has anything to do with this guy. It's got an about how things, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's almost like pretty much done, right? Because the whole reason of like Sony acquiring From Software was because like Kadakawa wanted Sony to buy them out to stop the Cacao takeover, whatever the fuck it was. But that's probably not going to be a thing. So, but like Sony now own a larger portion of Kadakawa, which inherently is From Software. But yeah, that's not even if From Software, even if the Kadakawa were to completely get bought out by Sony, I don't think it would change up the exclusivity of the FromSoft games. Might mean like a bit more Sony exclusives, but that's about it. How would you build the Dragon Halberd? Yeah, just go all into strength. The Shard of Alexander, maybe like the Spear Talisman. Maybe the multi-hit talismans and his damage negation, whatever. Something like that. Possibility of Nightreign coming to the Switch 2. I'm afraid we know nothing about the Switch 2 at this point either, so it's difficult to say right now. Sorry. I don't think that's going to happen then. Game is designed to be played as a 3-person team, but you can play it as a solo player in a pair. No, it's either 1 player or 3 players. When was this? I mean, this is not recent, right? This wasn't recent. This is actually 5 months ago. Never mind. This is not even new. Our Spirit Ashes, these are less important in Nightreign given that you have human control. They do exist in some capacity. There's going to be 8 playable characters. One of the characters uses Spirit Ashes. Oh, okay. So, like, that's confirmed. Okay, so that's where all, like, the speculation actually came from, with the Revenant being the summon character. It's actually good to read this back, this interview back after actually later loading all the information. So like Revenant, yeah, so because it was basically like the whole like speculation that Revenant was going to be the summoner, but I wasn't really sure exactly where that came from. But I guess it was this interview. That's cool. Assets, don't have any such assist features or settings included. We put lots of faith in our players regarding the skill level. We've incorporated the relic system where you can actually get those rewards and experience yesterday. Mildly less successful run. You can get these relics to gradually upgrade. I thought it was going to be another interview. But there's probably going to be interviews throughout the week, but I guess this is like the first one. There's actually a fucking long as shit. Holy crap. Damn, this is a long interview. Anyway. The name of the boss that you select in the menu is actually different, separate name from the one they actually fight it. That's intentional. Interesting. Okay. The newest IGN interviews haven't come out yet? Okay, there we go. Fair enough. Okay. Well, we'll go react to that when that happens. Anyway, we're pretty much done for today, though. Just wanted to catch up on things, see if I actually wanted to make a, what's that, background? This is like got some artwork commissioned from me. Anyway, we're done. We are done. Tomorrow I might do some like random run. I don't know what I'm going to play. We'll figure it out. We shall figure it out. Anyway, I will catch you all around. Thank you for stopping by. Bye bye. See yous.